still be trying to be a mother, a wife, and a business owner. You cannot have it all. You got to give something up.
Okay.
You either
So
you give up the husband. Generally, to give up the husband is what you give up.
as a black woman, that's
Yeah,
normally what we give
yeah,
up. Okay.
because that's what you choose.
So if as a black woman that's not something that I would want to give up, do you suggest that I just stop my business and just search for that
Well, now
provider male,
that's a
the
different question.
husband?
That's a different question. All right. Why? Before I answer that, why can non-black women seem to balance being wives and running businesses like you're talking about, and being mothers, and not have to give up one or the other?
I think maybe so more white and non-black women were brought up to be that way.
Let's just go. If we go with that,
Hmm.
how do you change that energy? Because here's the thing: before I don't want to get too far down that path because that'll take us off track. Okay, are you a wife? Is the question.
I
See,
am not.
a lot of women ask about, later on. The big question is, do you want to be a part of your husband's team or do you want a partner?
I want to be part of my husband's team.
All right.
I feel like I'm a better asset by being a team player than me being the lead myself,
All right.
honestly.
How old did you say you were again?
I'll be 30 in July.
All right. Um, have you always wanted to be married?
No,
When did this happen?
probably when I started watching you.
And that's problem. And this is the problem because so many of our women start to recognize later in life, close around 30, that this isn't the real play. So it's not as though the men are looking for anything different. It's like you have to be what those guys are looking for.
Hmm.
So yeah, you got to have a job right now because you got to be able to take care of yourself. And most women want to be able to have a man who can provide, but men who can provide come with rules.
They do, and a lot of men who provide step outside of the marriage as well,
So
and that's okay, right? I'm just asking.
I'm asking you,
It's something.
can you handle it? Here's a question: can you handle it if they do?
Yes.
There's a reason. I know a lot of women don't like that, but a lot of women today want it all. I'm like
Hmm.
the cleanup Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. I mean, grandmama, granddaddy. I don't know. I feel a empathy from women today because you've been told you could have it all,
Yeah.
and you can't.
Okay.
And it's about choices and trade-offs. What is more important? Do you want a man who doesn't step out? Because I'm not saying every guy will, but I'm saying if he does and you don't find out about it, what difference does it make?
It doesn't make a difference.
So I go look for
But
the problem.
then
That's my
be
point.
but being in the nightlife a little bit, I think you're more open minded to those type of things because you see more. So I think my mindset might be different from the average no, woman.
Average what woman?
Average
I think a lot of black women
modern.
want.
I'm gonna say modern, not gonna say
I think a lot
because
of sisters want. I think a lot of sisters have a fantasy view of marriage because I don't. You want alpha male providers, alpha male looks, alpha male height, all this alpha. Then you want strict loyalty and monogamy, and like that doesn't exist, not
right
in
fairy
mass.
tale.
So it's about choices and trade-offs.
Hmm.
And at 30 years old, I would say, do you want children?
I have one child.
Oh,
She's 5.
you got to be able to answer that question too, because guys are always going to ask, why didn't you marry the child's father?
Right.
And women don't like when I say that you don't typically get higher than your baby daddy.
Mm. Okay.
And what would that put? Would that put you in? Was your ex a provider male?
I wouldn't say so, not right now at this moment. But but he has been a provider meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me look at
So there's
credit.
nothing wrong with him. He's a great guy. He's a great father. But
Right.
people go through trials and tribulations. I'm gonna say that.
Of course.
So
I mean,
yeah,
life happens to everybody.
yeah,
You know.
and it's getting back up, and that's what's going on. But me personally, we just grew apart. But I
There's a
know for you, you feel like marriage is not all about love. I know that as
well,
well.
it's not.
It's not. So
It's not. I mean, we can say that shit when people live to be 40 years old. Okay, let's just take. Do you think it's about love?
no,
Did you used to?
I did.
All right. What if we live to be
I
300?
did. I used to think it was a fairy tale.
Well, so is it just over between you and your child's father forever?
Yes,
Irreconcilable?
yes.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
But we're great friends. We get along. We're amazing.
I get it, but you got to look at the men who will come next. Russell Wilson and Sierra are in the news again. Why do they stay in the news so much?
Because Russell Wilson is completely opposite of Sierra's previous godfather.
They stay in the news so much for that because so many men look and say, why did a guy who's a Super Bowl winning quarterback go choose to become a baby daddy, I mean, a stepfather? And you wouldn't see Tom Brady doing that. And far too many guys today, especially black men, are starting to say we're not stepping up to be stepdaddies. It's not. Especially the kind of men who can, especially the men who are in the top 20%, who can call some shots.
Black
Yeah, why you
will be
patting your
married
hair-
in their
why
lifetime.
why you stroking your hair like that? I mean, you
Because that's just what I do when I get nervous.
oh, okay. I get it. 26%, 1 in 4 black women will marry in their lifetime.
What is that
No,
statistic
listen,
based
then,
on?
the
Is
population.
it like population?
The population, 1 in 4 will marry in their lifetime.
Okay.
So the fact that you're married means 3 other women aren't, and the fact that your friends are married, that means you got to say 3 times as more aren't. The- 80% 80% of black children are born to single parent households. That means no husband. But if you watch my show, or if you ask women, most women will say they want to be what?
Married.
But yet they can't
Yes.
seem to be married. So that's one thing that modern women say they want, but they can't have.
Okay. Well, whose
do
fault
women,
is that?
women, yours,
Why?
yours, because
Why is it my fault?
oh no, not yours, women. It's women's fault. I'll tell you
Okay.
why it's women's fault. I'll tell you why it's women's fault. Prior to
Okay.
1965, black people in this country were married at a rate of 80%, with the height
Yes.
of Jim Crow segregation and everything else.
Yes.
So if we were more married in the 60s and 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s, why all of a sudden, with more advances, more freedoms and everything else, why are we less married? Because 80% of divorces that are filed in the black community are filed by women.
Okay. And where do you get your statistics from?
The Bureau of Labor Statistics, the census, accurate places like that, blackdemographics.com, black statistics for black people, by black people. Where do you get your information?
Similar sources.
Well, tell me some of the places you get yours from.
The census.
Okay, but all I've heard about is your friends so far.
Okay. Well, that's the information you asked me about
Okay.
my friends.
Well, but I asked you about what percentage of black women will get married. You said 60 to 70%.
That was an educated guess.
That was a poor education. If you get your stats from any reliable place, that is just outrageous. So
There's no way for me to know what questions you're going to ask.
But what I will say is, you asked me where I get my information from, and if you're going to ask me that, you're questioning my stats. So I'm going to question your information. And I will say the little bit of information I've given has been far more accurate than what you've given me in your anecdotal experience.
Okay. All right.
This is another reason why modern women can't have it all, because you don't know enough.
It's okay for you to give statistics, but if you can't give me the references and you can't show me,
Okay, well I'm not going. Okay, hold on, ma'am. Don't play with me.
You know what?
Don't play.
I'm
No.
not-
See, I'm about to go there with you because you asked me where I got them from. And all you got to do is get off your ass and go look for them yourself. But getting off your ass may be a big problem. See, when you play with me, I'll play back.
Okay.
Now, you want to be respectful? We can be respectful. You want to cap and snap? We can do that too.
I don't want to cap and snap.
All right, well, let's keep it respectful.
The original conversation.
Okay, and the original conversation is modern women want the world, but modern women did not build the world. Modern women don't understand how the basic world works, even the infrastructure. I said that modern women don't know enough, meaning you're not as informed upon the levers of power, the things that actually make women move. Most women only get curious about things that are of substance when they're married or older. Younger women tend not to care about anything, which is why AM talk radio is not for young women. It's for men and old women.
Why do you think that young women don't care?
Because they don't have to.
Then how do they like procure that information? Like, how do they understand?
They usually have to be taught by their man. They're usually taught by their man. You go from your father.
I was not taught by my man.
Well, that's okay. You ask how do they normally do it? That's how it normally happens. That's how it's normally supposed to go happen. It's supposed to go from father to your man's house. But why are women? Here's the question. Since you're asking me this question, why do you think 1 in 4 black women will marry in their lifetime? What's the problem?
I think that the options, like what's available for women, what do you mean
the options? Hold on. The options, you meaning what?
Like in terms of men that are available to them.
51% of black men are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. There are plenty of marriageable black men in this country. Black men are 2 million less.
Are they in Ohio?
Black men are 2 million less than black women, and 847 million more marriages. There are less black men, but black men are married at a higher rate. So it's not that black women are not marrying anybody.
Are these
black? You don't overtalk me. You do that to your husband. You don't do that to me. I muted you because you don't seem to realize you don't overtalk me. Now, here's what I'm going to need to do. Okay, let's reset this. Because I'm willing to have the conversation, but looking all around the room and talking to everybody else is kind of rude when I got, thousands of people watching. I need you to at least give the platform a respect and have a conversation. Please unmute.
Yes,
can we do that?
I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what typically I gave you the numbers about men, but see, it's not just a black men thing. There are plenty of black men that are single and childless. But what about why aren't black women marrying anybody?
Are they also married to black women, like in this?
I ask
scenario?
Why are not black women? No, we're talking about women.
Okay.
Black men are married just fine. Why aren't black women marrying anybody?
Does it not matter to you, like across race?
I asked the question. Why are they? Because 1 in 4 will marry in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Why won't? That means anybody. Why aren't they marrying anybody? When in the 60s it was married at 80% rates?
I'm not sure. That has not been like my experience in terms of the black women that I know.
But it doesn't matter. You see, your anecdotal experience does not speak for the greater group.
I agree.
Okay, so we're talking about the greater group. Why is it black women are having a problem finding anyone to marry?
What do I think? I think that maybe they are.
I'm 23.
Uh-oh. What do we got? What are we talking about?
I hate when people do this when they come on your show, but I really was not expecting to be accepted.
Okay.
The question was, what was the question?
Well, at 23, my question is, why do you watch my content?
So I can avoid the mistakes that the older women in my life are making and have made.
Did you go home were you at home for Thanksgiving?
I was actually at my friend's house.
Okay. When you talk to, was your mother married?
No.
When you talk to the older women in your family or whatever, how do they talk about relationships?
It depends on whether they were married or not.
Okay.
Because
But in general.
it's a mixed bag. You have women who are very like jaded and they believe they don't have like a positive outlook, but then you have women who are happily married who do have a positive outlook.
Okay. And see, this is one of the things you young ladies do. You ladies do listen to what I'm about to say. You ladies don't want to hold each other accountable, so you don't want to be offensive. But 70 years ago, if you asked a 23-year-old woman, she wouldn't say, I don't want to make the mistakes of the women in the past. You need to move the camera down. It's off your face.
Okay. I'm scared. I look a mess. Okay.
Okay, but still. See, it's like you don't want to, it's like you came in and said, I don't want to make mistakes of the people in the past. Cool. By the way men think, that means most of the women have made mistakes. So at 23, you should only see positive. So do you see a lot of women talking about relationships in a positive way and living that?
No.
Okay, so when I ask you, how do the women talk about relationships? Why do you come in this 50-50? Some do, some don't. It's half and half.
Okay, maybe I was trying to be fair, so I'm going to say most women do have a negative outlook on relationships.
Ladies, understand something. Stop trying to be fair to women. Start being fair to the men you want to get with. I'm gonna talk past you. So many of you ladies are so worried about offending French toast ass women that you sit there and men are like, when y'all gonna just be honest and say what y'all see? That's number one. And then what do you want out of life? When you're 50 years old, how do you want life to look? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes.
How does life look for you at 50?
At 50, I would like to be like my grandmother. She has a wealth of children and grandchildren to take care of and to minister to and to help us up. So at 50, that's what I see myself doing, is like giving to my children and my grandchildren.
And how old was your grandmother when she got married?
I believe my grandmother was 19.
Okay, so you're already 4 years older than her.
Mm-hmm.
So many women want to be this matriarch, this grandmother, and all these kids, and a family, right? That's what you said. You want to have children that you're ministering to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where's the husband?
Oh yeah, we're happily married with all my grandchildren and kids.
But do you notice how you went directly to the kids and no mention of the man?
Okay.
Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think you did that?
I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Why
Well,
do you?
I know why. I think I know why. Because your mother wasn't married.
Okay.
And you weren't taught, and the thing you say you want, you weren't raised or taught how to be.
That makes sense.
So if you weren't raised and taught how to be it, what do you think the probability is you're going to get it? Probability 0 to 100. What's the probability you're going to pass a chemistry test if you haven't studied chemistry, you haven't read a chemistry book?
I think that's a valid point, and
But what's the probability? See, y'all don't answer that. See what?
I'm getting ready to. Oh
No,
my gosh, no.
no. That's a valid point. Then what's the answer? Direct answer. Because what I'm teaching you is how to communicate to men.
Okay.
We when we ask y'all direct questions, we want a direct answer, and then say what it is. You kind of say, instead of saying that's a valid point, just give me the number and then say that part. That's how men more communicate. But go ahead. What do you think the probability is for you or anyone? So let's take it off of you.
Like a woman who was not taught?
Yeah. What do you think the probability is if a woman wants to be married with a nice sized family and the things you say you want? What do you think the probability is that she will actually get that outcome if she wasn't taught?
I think it's low.
Can you assign a number to it?
Maybe 30%. I don't know.
Okay.
God.
30%.
What's going on here? Wait. I can use that bow.
Well, today, 1 in 4 of our women can expect to be married in their lifetime. The current black marital rate sits at about 30%. Current marital rate. And that's with your grandmother's generation, the baby boomers, and late generation X. The younger generations, the lower it goes.
Okay.
Well, so what I'm trying to show you is that women tend to look at things abstractly in their feelings, kind of through rose-colored glasses. Because I would say you probably got less than a 5% chance if you weren't taught how to do it.
Okay.
And I would say that based upon the numbers. If 1 in 4 will expect to be married, that's married of any kind. Average black marriage lasts 5 years. So how do you get to the end point? So you'd have to say you'd have to say at age 50,
I can do this.
how many married grandmothers do you see at age 50 with big families today?
Not many.
So out of 100 50-year-old women, how many are married with big families?
Let's see if these things
Now this is just a pure guess. You just guess.
Is this black community or all communities?
I've been talking about black community ever since this.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna say 20.
okay. So again, 2020. So that means if you saw 5 50-year-old women, one of them would be married with a big family.
And that's what they trying to prevent. They don't want the Kundalini to start hitting that heart chakra of us. It's at the root chakra. Wait till she hit the heart chakra of us. Then the throat chakra of us. Then when they hit the pineal of us, oh my God. And then rise into the crown where we all as a species detached from this complete lie of death. The whole lie of death gonna break down right there. Y'all gonna see the death ain't even real. Watch, boy, this shit finna get so intense. I embrace the heat wave. I'm just sitting back cooling. I'm just sitting back cooling. I'm hoping others do the same out there. I've been strengthening my aura field. The warmer the sun feel on your skin, the reason the sun get the feeling so hot is because you got all this fluoride in you and arsenic and all these poisons that's been put in your avatar through the food they give us. When that sun feel like it's burning you and you got like that neuromelanin in you, that's the sun, that's the heat, the natural pure cosmic heat burning off the toxins from you. When all the toxins off you, I don't give a fuck if it was 1,000 degrees outside. It's gonna feel normal to you. You are the sun. You give it life. You created the sun. But they had to put poison. That's another reason they put poison in you, to make your ass get out the sun, to not be able to take you. That was another part of why they did that to us.
Somebody's calling your fucking ass out, and now you're showing who you really are.
So, like I was saying, I don't like men, and I don't have respect for them. I think that's the problem.
I don't give a shit. We don't respect you. Give your daughter to their cousin, your son to the father, and go do whatever the hell you do. Who cares if you like men? Men would prefer you to go away.
Hey guys, welcome to the Raw Media. In today's video, we'll be reacting to Kevin Samuels.
Hey, hello.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I always ask, how old are you?
32.
All right. So, what are we discussing today?
Okay. All right. I want to discuss. I was in a relationship for 10 years.
Okay.
With my son's father, and he was 10 years older than me at the time, right? So I was
Okay.
21. Yeah, I'm born in 88 and he's born in 77.
Okay.
And basically, I wasn't ready at the time to be in a relationship.
You weren't ready to
And
be in marriage or relationship?
well, marriage, because he was
Okay.
ready to, you know. And so I cheated a lot in the
Okay.
beginning. And then I ended up leaving him after the 10 years because he cheated once and I couldn't get over it. And I
Okay.
haven't been able to get a solid relationship since then. And I don't know. This needs to.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have two.
Were they from the guy in the 10-year relationship?
Yes, I planned the child with him and everything because I felt bad, about how.
No. I'm just trying to understand. Were both of the children you have from him?
Oh no, I had a child after I left him.
Okay, so you were together with him from age 20, from what to what?
From the age 20 to 30, I guess.
30, and you're how old, 32?
Yeah.
So you had a child with him and then a child after him.
Yes. The child after him was like a revenge thing. I was upset. Yeah. Okay, right. And I had a child by his cousin.
What?
Oh, Jesus.
She crazy.
Wait. What? No way she's being serious right now. No. She's got to be trolling because his cousin. What? I truly hope that she's trolling because if she's not, she is truly a disgraceful human being.
So your ultimate question is what?
My question is, I'm trying not to be salty towards like all men, and I'm trying
Why should you be salty? I mean, ma'am, no disrespect, but what you just said is you told a story where you were a young woman dealing with a man who had you, and for 10 years you were fucking around. He cheats one time.
No,
and you
no,
bounce.
not the whole 10 years.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 10 years, 3 years, and 5 years, you were cheating a lot.
Yeah.
He cheats one time, then you decide to get salty and leave. And then you leave, and then on the way out, you screw his cousin and have a baby with him.
But it's not like his blood.
And I'm just getting the story right, man.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to figure out how not to get salty with men. That's basically what you said.
Well, yeah, I don't think I explained it right, but
I don't. Okay, the facts are right. The facts are right.
The facts are right. Yeah.
Okay, then why should you even be in a relationship with anybody?
I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. I need to just work on myself right now, baby.
Well, I mean, do you have a son or a daughter?
My son is 11, and my daughter is 2.
So if your son came in and said, "Hey, mom, you know the woman I've been with for 10 years? Yeah. You know the mother of my child? Yeah. She been cheating on me for 4 or 5 years in the relationship, and I just took it. Then I did, and then one time I slipped and cheated on her. She decided to leave me and took my kid with me.
Yeah.
And then on the way out the door, she fucked my cousin and got pregnant by him.
I feel like if he didn't want to stay with me in the midst of the cheating, he should have left me. Man, he stayed with me with the impression.
Where's your father at?
My father is still with my mom. They're still married.
Mm-hmm. And how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, the way you describe this, you're a horrible person.
I'm working on it.
No, you're not. Because you're still making excuses on this call. You said that if he didn't want to stay with me after cheating, he should have left. You have absolutely no accountability. You fucked around on this man, and you're saying that instead of him cheating around on you, he should have left you because you were cheating.
Yeah, I feel like he made me feel under the impression that we were going to.
He didn't make you feel shit.
Yeah, Kevin is absolutely right. She cheated on him numerous times during the entire relationship, and he still forgave her. But the one time he does it to her, she acts like she's had any grounds to feel betrayed. And on top of that, she's also, guys, she had a baby by his cousin, his own family member. This woman is manipulative and she's sick. And
All right,
I truly hope
you won't
that
always have some
ex-husband
fancy
is
gadget
okay,
to
because
tell you where you
I
are.
can only
If you
imagine
can
the
learn
type
to
of
read
pain
the
he's
land
going
and the
through right now.
stars,
You are
you'll
in
always
charge of
be
your
able to
own
find your way
feelings.
home.
See, that's what I mean. You're a grown woman sitting here lacking any accountability, blaming somebody else. And understand something.
No, I want
You,
to take accountability.
ma'am,
I
you know you
want
haven't.
home.
No, no. Okay, okay. Well, the first way you take accountability is stop making excuses. What you did was absolutely horrible. You screwed his cousin. I
It
don't care
was,
how
but I was
young you
young.
were. I don't care. You weren't young. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean right here. I said, stop making excuses and look at what you do. You turn around and say, I was young. You weren't young. You, your youngest is 2. Of all the dicks in the world, why'd you have to go to his cousin?
Well, his cousin was actually the one who introduced us. I knew the cousin first, so
They didn't answer my question.
yeah.
No, I want to answer to my question.
The pregnancy wasn't planned, you know. It just
What
happened.
was my question?
Why did I have to go to his cousin? I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Because you knew it would hurt it.
Some kind of container. Who left these behind?
I guess.
You guess?
But it wasn't purpose.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Like,
Stay right here. Stay right here. He cheated on you one time and you decided to leave and take the child. And on the way out of the door, you had sex with his cousin. Out of the millions of penises in the world, you chose his cousin.
After we broke up. We were broken up after the cousin happened.
Not a women, y'all. This is a woman talking about taking accountability.
I am taking accountability, Kevin.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not, man. No, you're not. You haven't said the least bit of remorse. And I said, after y'all broke up, why'd you have to screw his cousin? Because we haven't even got to the bigger part. Why'd you have to screw his cousin and have his baby?
I did try. I mean, I'm not going to get into the full details of the pregnancy, but it happened, you know?
It happened. No, ma'am, you happened. For you.
Hi, God bless you. I'm Shay.
Nice to.
I'm almost 30 next month.
Okay, can you hold the camera steady though? Okay, go ahead. What's the smoke show?
Bathroom break.
I want to say that you're right about what you're saying, especially when it comes to women. I've been a single mom for like 3.5 years since me and my kid's father separated, and I felt like the time that I was with him, you know, I was kind of scared of commitment because mostly in my 20s, I was trying to be like a housewife and all of these things and take care of him while at the same time deal with my children. So now it's like I've been in the single world for like 3.5 years, and I kind of been liking it because I got more in tune with like getting a new career. And
You like being single?
no, I'm saying I like me being independent, like because I was in a relationship for a long time, so I kind of like that freedom. But do I miss the companionship? Yes.
What do you? I mean, no offense, ma'am. How old are you?
29. I'll be 30 October 10th.
How many children?
2, 7, and 5.
Okay. So you said you like the independence.
I said I did because I felt most of my 20s I was always in a relationship. So me not being the one, I feel like I got to learn more about myself. But I do want a companion one day, someone that my kids can look up to as well.
Okay, but I'm curious as to why so many of our women feel like relationships is prison.
I could say I felt like I'm sorry for moving. I'm trying to sit down. I felt like mine was a prison in a way because I felt like I was still getting to know myself while still trying to be a mom.
What do you mean getting to know yourself?
So like knowing what I like, knowing what I think, that type of thing. And the relationship wasn't that good.
What age did you? What age did you have your first child?
21.
You're a legal adult at that point, man. I mean, it's like here's the issue I have. So many of our women talk about getting to know themselves. That's bullshit. You know who you are. You're just an older version of what you were at 14. The relationships that really matter is the ones where you grow together. You ever own a leather jacket or a leather anything leather?
Yes.
Have you ever owned a leather jacket? Like a jacket or anything?
Yes. Yes. Harley Davidson
When you
leather. Yes, I have.
All right. The jacket when you buy it brand new is stiff. It's new, but it really gets value after you've worn it and you break it in. You got to break leather in, right?
Yes.
That's what relationships are. And so many of our women want to get to know themselves. To what end? Why do you? I don't understand what you're getting to know. You know that you like ice cream. You know that your favorite team is the Cowboys. What are you getting to know about yourself as an adult that you did not know as a teen?
I would have to say, far as me being strong, me being a mother, I wasn't a teen mother. A lot of my friends
Mm-hmm.
were, so me being a mother, me trying to be, the perfect, not the perfect, but want to be a future wife of his at the time or certain things. I got to, you know, learn more about what I don't want now. But I felt like with him, I did grow. I did,
With
you
him, your
know,
child's father.
my children's father, yes, their
Okay.
dad. I felt like I did grow in the duration of time we worked together. So now I know what I don't want and what I do want now.
Mm,
Moving forward.
Okay. So two questions. One,
Yes.
did he want to marry you?
I don't think so.
Okay. So then I'll move that to the side. I don't know why women have children for men who don't want to marry them. But number one, number two, more importantly, why is what you want so important when you have children?
That is correct. It's important to me because I want them. They already see me be a strong woman, and they already see me overcome, certain things. So I want them to be able to have respect me because I already showed them that myself. You know what I'm saying? They see that with me
No,
every
no,
day.
no, no, young lady, no, young lady. What you're doing is you're trying to turn struggle and dysfunction into an asset. You're saying your children saw this. How about this? Let me go ahead and put on my Thanos glove. How about this? How about at 21 years old, you actually had a man that was worth being with for a lifetime, who wanted to marry you and be a husband and a father? How about you had a healthy, functioning, committed, emotionally profound relationship to where you had somebody who was willing to do their part, you're willing to do your part, and your children saw that.
They did, but it
No,
got
no,
abusive
no,
to what.
no, ma'am. See, that's the thing. It doesn't. No. See, the way you tell, the way the story you have, it always ends up bad. The way the story I'm talking about is it starts off right and it gets better.
Okay.
I'm tired of black people trying to turn shit into a birthday cake and acting like it's a good thing. You are not meant to be a woman out here with children by yourself. That's not how the world is set up. Did you go to college?
No, I'm an esthetician.
Okay. Do you make over $130,000 a year?
No, but real soon.
No. What's it?
No.
Real soon, really. Now this is why I started to get harsh. What city do you live in?
Hold on. No, you going in and out. I'm sorry.
What city do you live in?
Washington D.C.
Okay, ma'am, with two children, as an esthetician, let's be honest. You're living a middle class life.
Yes.
You're not going to have $2.9 million to retire on at age 65. You're not. That's how much you're going to need to live between the ages of 65 and
Sure.
85. Anywhere. Yes, ma'am. I'm sure estheticians don't become millionaires. If think about what you're saying. If estheticians were okay, listen. See, this is what I mean. We get to
May
this
I add
point.
something?
Well, after I finish, you can survive. That's not thriving. That's not. We got to stop saying being a single woman with a job with kids is okay. When those kids are eating and they're protected, but they're not being set up for success.
I would have to say that that is not true because, you know, there are a lot of black women estheticians who
I'm talking to
started off
you.
just like me.
I
Right.
don't know, ma'am. I'm talking about you.
Okay,
Black
let's
women,
talk about me.
stop, ma'am, stop, ma'am. Less than 9% of black women earn over $75,000. Stop the cap. You all, but it's just no different than when I hear black men who are barbers who think they're going to be millionaires.
So all digestion starts in the mouth, as I tell y'all all the time. And when you chew on your food, your teeth is the first contact to the digestive system. So that's why we got to learn how to super chew. A lot of us are getting diseases, and a lot of us are being at disease because I don't believe in actually contacting a disease. So I'm gonna say a lot of our bodies and energy is at dis-ease and not flowing with ease because we're not super chewing our food. So the first step was whenever you put something in your mouth, it automatically hits your tongue, and then your teeth get a sensation, and it makes you want to chew. We have to start truly super chewing our food. That way, when it make it down through the esophagus to the stomach, the hydrochloric acid inside of the stomach that's mixed and creates something called pepsin or pepsinogen, which actually breaks down your food, won't take all day and won't take a long hours in the day to break down the food. So the first thing, I'm going to show you how alkaline the body is. All right, so you eat this food, then you start chewing it. When you start chewing it, you have something called salivary glands that produces two alkaline coenzymes. And these two alkaline coenzymes is called amylose or amylase, which is AMYLASE. Amylase, and the other one is trypsin. And what amylase and trypsin does is it gets secreted from the salivary glands or the salivary glands, and it wraps around the food as you chew the food. These alkaline secretions break down alkaline food. They do not break down any food that's acidic in nature. They only break down anionic foods. They do not break down cations or cationic foods, showing you that you're not supposed to be eating any mucus or any pus or any acidic forming foods in the first place, just by the salivary secretions that you secrete throughout your mouth. They only secrete actually alkaline enzymes. So then you start chewing this food. Once it gets into a watery substance, you swallow it down. When you swallow this food down, it goes through the esophagus. A lot of people don't teach y'all this in anatomy classes, but when food is going down the esophagus, you actually have these little globular lobes inside the actual esophagus that secrete mucus that further wraps and help you break down your food and get it ready to actually be broken down by the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Once you get right here, this is a doorway that opens up to the stomach. I'm going to take the stomach off. So this is a doorway that opens up to the stomach. This is called the cardiac sphincter. The cardiac sphincter is a door that opens and closes. A lot of people get like GERD disease. A lot of people get acid reflux and things like this because this door, or heartburn, because this door is not closing. The reason why it's called cardiac is because it's close to the heart, because the heart will be right here. The reason why it's called sphincter because it's a enclosing or a door. So cardiac sphincter means a door that's close to the heart or close to the cardiac output. All right, so once this door get opened by magnesium, and this is why the reason the mineral magnesium is so important, what happens is the food go through the actual stomach. All right, this is called the fundus of the stomach, this is called the body of the stomach, and this is called the atrium of the stomach. When the food get down to the actual fundus of the stomach, it gets secreted with more mucus, and globulins of mucus get secreted and secreted. Then it start moving down into the body of the stomach. Once it gets to the body of the stomach, you're going to see high yields of pepsin, pepsinogen, and hydrochloric acid. This start breaking down the food. Now, all of these micronutrients and all of the macro foods you've been eating, say if I eat an apple right now, and it's going to go down, it's going to be chewed up, it's still going to be big chunks. So what happens is the hydrochloric acid inside of the stomach breaks down these chunks into all the macro and phytonutrients we need. Then the food moves into the atrium. Once the food moves into the atrium of the stomach, it passes into this 9-inch intestinal tract called the duodenum. This is the duodenum right here. This is where all of your food absorption happen in. At least 93% of your absorption to your food. Now, I teach y'all all the time, you know, that we talk about basically, you talk about absorption, you talk about utilization, you talk about elimination. And these things is what the body needs. Everybody go through a process of actually consumption, absorption, utilization, and elimination. So the consumption happen at the mouth. All right, we eating these things. Then it gets down into the duodenum tract, and we finna absorb these things. Once we absorb these things, you have something called the adrenal and the kidneys. They sit at the back. This is where you get your utilization from. Last but not least, after your body go through this whole entire process, you have to eliminate it, because whatever the body doesn't eliminate, it accumulates or coagulates, and this coagulation actually causes the body to be at a stillness, and energy cannot be flowing throughout the flowing throughout the body properly, and this is what they call disease, right?
So there's an influencer who is claiming that Kanye West and Diddy tried to R-word her in a studio in front of a group of other executives, producers, other people in the studio, and they did nothing.
Oh my God, piping hot tea.
Piping hot tea. Now, this story is crazy. The young woman that's involved is Nikki Heaton. Now, I had never heard of her before, but apparently she's this huge Instagrammer / model, but she's not really in the limelight like you would expect, like most models. Like, she does like a different type of content where it's still like IG model content, but it's like her on a farm or some shit like that.
Okay.
So it's like a little bit different, but and the only reason why I bring it up is because she's claiming like, I have no clout win off of this. So I'm telling you my truth. I waited. She's trying to sue him, or Kanye or Diddy. She said she held on to the story for a long time, and she's not really trying to get any clout off of it. And I think she was included in one of the other lawsuits that someone else is suing, I believe Kanye and or Diddy, and she tells her story, and it's pretty crazy.
What do I have to gain? Let me just ask you, what do I have to gain? I'm in a fucking farm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not in the industry anymore. I'm not filing a lawsuit, so I'm not getting paid. I'm not looking for clout, because who gives a fuck about me? So why would I lie about this? This has been 9.5 years since this happened to me. Why would I? Let me go on. I don't, whatever. Yeah, so I see her start to leave. And I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, it's fine, I'm just going to the bathroom. And I was like, no, stay. And she's like, it's right there, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay. And she walks out. And all of a sudden, I realize that I'm in this studio. The music's low, the lights are dim, but you can still like see everything. And I realize that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off their shit. And there's 3 other men, an executive that works with Kanye, his engineer, and his cousin, and me, alone. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. And I haven't started freaking out yet. Like, I know what the situation is. I know, I know this is a bad place to be in, but I don't really feel scared yet, you know? Like, because I'm like, there's other people around, there's other men around, and I know them. Like, I've known them for a while. Like, nothing bad's gonna happen. And I'm standing there, and I realize that so this is like a pretty like sizable studio. There's like the glass doors, the couch there, a console, another console, the screen, all of that. But it's like, it's pretty big, but you can still see and talk to everyone easily. And I realize that I'm standing really close to the exit. And it's a glass door, and it opens in. And I'm standing pretty close to it. And I realize all of a sudden that Kanye and Diddy have realized that I'm the only girl in the room. And they're like, fuck out of their minds. And they start coming towards me, and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, fine. I'm fine like this. And they're like, come on, like, it's just us. Like, we're all just friends. Like, let us just, like, see, like, how you look. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And, like, I still haven't gotten scared yet, you know? Like, I'm still, like, this is a bad situation. I'm freaked out, but, like, there's no reason to panic. There's other men here coming towards me. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. I don't know where my manager is. I don't know where anyone is. And they're coming towards me more, and they're trying to, like, take my clothes off. And I'm like at that point where I'm like, this is not good, but I'm like still trying to like play it off. Just like, stop, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, get out of here, like, don't touch me.
Listen to me.
like a little bit scared. Did this just freeze? Okay, no, it's back. Okay, so let me just get to the point. So they start trying, like, they're like pawing at me. Like, they're both drunk, probably on something else. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like, there's only one exit and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop, like stop. And they're getting to the point where they have like ripped my shirt off. And like, I'm like almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like, we know him pretty well. Like, we've been around him a lot. He's literally 3 feet away from me. Like, if I reached and he reached too, like we could touch. Like, he's that close. And I look and I'm like, hey.
So look, this is the part of the story that just sounds strange to me.
Okay.
The rest of it, I don't know.
But now
this part is
gonna play.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the part of the story where it starts to get a little. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let us know what you think in the comments too, guys. Do you believe this part or all of it? But specifically, do you think there's some sauce thrown in here? Because this is where it starts to get a little wacky.
Like, I give that look where I'm just like, come on, like, step in. Like, this isn't cool. Like, you're a grown man. Like, you're like 50 years old. I know you have a family. Like, you know this isn't right. Like, do something. And this is the part that, for as long as I live, I will never fucking forget. It isn't actually the aspect of being sexually assaulted. That's not what haunts me. It's this. It's as these two grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off, I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes. And he looks away. I'm like, okay, there's still 2 more men in the room. And I look to his engineer next, who's sitting right next to him. And I know that he's married and he just had a little baby girl. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna do something. And I look at him next and I'm like, okay, like, do something, say something, do anything. And he looks down at his phone and starts texting. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I look at Kanye's cousin next. And I'm like, do something, you know, like, fuck, do something. And he spins his chair around. And that's when that, like, gut-wrenching fear set in. And I was like, oh, shit. No one's fucking saving me tonight. No one's gonna do anything. No one's gonna do fucking anything. And that's when I was truly fucking scared. At this point, they had ripped my shirt off and they were trying to get my pants off. And I realized that I was completely alone. And I closed my eyes for a second. And I was like, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is gonna sound weird because I bet a lot of you are wondering, like, how the fuck do you get out of this situation?
This is also another part where this is the most wacky part, but okay.
Okay.
Eyes were closed and I prayed and I said, God help me, what do I do? And it was like clear as day. I heard this in my head and it didn't make any sense. I heard, go towards them. And I was like, oh, fucking great. The one time I asked God for help, Satan answers, because why the fuck would I go towards these 2 predators who are sexually assaulting me? Like, why would I do that? And then all of a sudden it clicked. My back was up against the glass wall. I could not go any further back. That was the only exit. He said, go towards them. They were already drunk off their shit. They were fucked up. So I lunged forward. I stepped forward. and it like threw them off balance. Like they were like, oh, you know, and like they stepped back at least 1.5 feet. And the moment that they did, I reached behind my back, I pulled the door and I slipped out, grabbing my clothes. And I ran across the hall, across this corridor, and I hid inside of an empty studio that was black. And I sat there for like 25 minutes, just like crying, like, what the do I do? And I'm texting my manager and she's not answering. And eventually, I don't think I'm supposed to say this next part because it could hurt her case, but basically, everything she said is true, basically. Because what I saw next, I fucking saw it. I was the only one who wasn't drunk. I was the only one who didn't drink their drinks, whatever it is. I was the only one. So I saw what happened next and who was involved. And that's why I'm a part of this lawsuit and like named in it. And yeah, it just, that, I mean, I got us both out and I got us in an Uber, and she obviously didn't remember anything because she was drunk and I wasn't. And apart from the aspect of, you know, looking for help and they turned away, the only other thing that really, really fucked with me is, what about all those other girls that were there? Those 9 other girls who were drinking the drinks before we even got there. Like, I know none of them got out. I know.
So this is the thing. It starts to fall apart the longer she tells the story. To me, because this is how it starts. Okay, you're in the room with Kanye West and Diddy. There's another girl there with you. She has to use the bathroom. You don't want her to go because you feel uncomfortable. Now, from what I understand, most of the time in these situations, what the women do, they go
to the restroom together.
Thank you.
You're not leaving me.
Let's say that happens. Now you're in the room with Kanye West and Diddy. Diddy and Kanye West are apparently drunk and or high and are pawing at you in the. So I guess these two grown 6 foot. I think they were probably right between 5'9" and 6 foot between Diddy and Kanye. I don't know how tall they are, but they're not small guys. They're like 6 foot, full size men. That's all I'm trying to say. Full size men, both pawing at you, and you're in the corner. You don't know what to do. Now, first they rip your shirt off. You need help, and now they're trying to take off your pants. So you're standing up in the corner, and they're pulled your shirt off and trying to take off your pants. Which then there's 3 other guys. All of these men. I'm just saying. Now maybe this happened. Maybe it happened. I'm just saying what she said. 3 other guys in the corner. I mean, in the room, and you look at each one of these guys and mouth help, and they all like, we're just gonna let her get like R-worded in the goddamn corner. Okay, I'm with you. Then
I'm not.
You're not with her at this point
because I'm not mouthing anything to
hell.
If you don't get your monkey ass.
That's what I'm saying. You should be yelling at this.
That's me.
That's not what God told her to do. Jesus had a different plan for her. Jesus said, walk to them. Now, first of all, at this point in the story, you are apparently in the corner and 2 grown men are so close to you that they are taking off your shirt and they're taking off your pants.
Right.
So I don't know how much space you can have to step forward, but you step forward, and your action of stepping forward was her exact. Oh my God! Like they just like her walking forward with the power of Jesus, the power of Jesus Christ. They were just like, what the fuck? What is going on? She's her womanhood is too strong. Her feminine is the power of Jesus. Oh, what is it? And they back up and like they fall out, and then she has enough space to now walk forward and then run. Now this is the crazier part. She runs.
And where does she run to?
Apparently not out the building because she stayed there.
She was so scared she stayed there.
She didn't leave the building. She ran. Apparently she ran to another room, I believe, and in the same studio. And then there were 9 other girls there. They weren't mentioned in the story, so they weren't in the studio with y'all. They were just in the building. Who I guess who had drunk some juice with some stuff in there. Took some juice where they put some extra stuff in there. She's worried about them. They don't know what happened. And she rescues a young woman. She goes back, doubles back to rescue another young woman. And she saw everything that happened to her. I just don't understand the story.
Of course, we weren't there. We don't know.
The only thing I want to say too is, for people who don't know my history, don't know the history of the show, I have been against Diddy and Kanye West every step of the way. Whenever something happens and a woman says A, B, and C happens, I believe it.
This is true.
This story just seems strange to me.
Y'all can go back and check the receipts. He has spoken out loudly about certain things.
I've been on women's side the entire time. This is the first story where I'm like,
So, I can only speak for myself, like I said, and I didn't mean to sound ignorant earlier, but if somebody is on me and I want them off, I'm not backing into any corner. I'm not mouthing anything to anybody. I'm speaking up. I'm pushing back. You're going to get off me. And like you said, the more she speaks, the more it starts to fall apart because, secondly, where's your friend? How long was your friend in the restaurant?
That's what I'm saying. All of this happened, she ain't made it back yet? She had to poop. That's why she said you couldn't come with us. She had to take a shit. No, you stay here.
You stay here. And
You don't want to come where I'm going.
And that's possible too. But then to me, I don't know what the setup was. Like, did she not have her phone and keys where she could have taken her things and gotten out? She said she went in here for 20 minutes. And then there were 9 other girls there who were drinking said drink that she didn't mention before. So don't know.
So were they trapped in a room in a different part of the studio?
If they were trapped, then they would know what other part of the studio she hid in my mind. And so, again, we don't know. The story doesn't seem viable to me.
Now, she is saying something. Now, to her defense, we'll play devil's advocate. To her defense, she did say this was 9 years ago. So maybe you don't remember every single thing.
You know what? That's a good point.
Fair enough. And really, at 9 years, you may remember what happened, but you more so remember the idea of what happened.
And that's a good point. This may be the case, but I too wonder why now? Why talk about it now then? That's a question that I have. Like, who is this helping?
Well, allegedly, from what I understand, and that's what she alluded to, is that she's included in one of the lawsuits. I think she's included in the lawsuit by I think she's included in the lawsuit by Kanye's assistant, the one
that we covered before. Oh,
ex-assistant.
okay,
So I think she's in that lawsuit, and I don't know if she's talking about. I don't think she is, but I think she's talking about a different girl. But she might be talking about the assistant in this video. I'm not sure. And it could be a totally different lawsuit. But either way, it does seem a little strange, and it could be part of it because she is a beautiful woman. A little bit comes off a little performative, like a really good actress. Like I'm watching an actress do a scene, but it could be me holding that against her because she's really pretty, and I just can't.
There are a lot of what ifs, but if we just going on the story that she told, for me, I would need to know a little bit more. It just doesn't all flow for me the way that she's telling it.
And look, I'm pretty sure something happened. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't necessarily mean this happened. And even if she's trying to be accurate, it's only so accurate you can be from 9 years, from memory 9 years ago. So, I mean, even with all the trauma, and hell, the trauma can make it even harder to remember. You know what I'm saying? And keep all the details. Like I always tell you guys, I say this all the time. If you're in a room with Kanye West and Diddy, I don't give a damn if it's 9 years ago or not. Matter of fact, it's even worse 9 years ago, because I think right now it'd probably be easier to get in the room with Kanye West and Diddy. 9 years ago, it seemed like that might be even goddamn impossible. But let's say 9 years ago, you're in a room with Kanye Diddy working on music with an executive, his cousin, and a producer. Do you know how hard it is to get in that room? How many women and men would both have, especially at that time, kids shot their mama, sister, cousin, did whatever to be in that room. And so I always say that is like, I've been in spaces with A-list celebrities or B-list celebrities. And I'm just saying, like, at a certain point, it's so hard to even be in that room to get into those spaces. Of course, it's different for women, but even then, like, you chose to be there, and you're not here because you're a songwriter. You're not here because you make beats. You're not here because we want to do business with you. You came here with 8 other girls because you know what you're here for.
It's time to party.
Yeah, you're a party girl.
Seemingly, the more we hear, that's typically what's happening. Y'all partying, y'all kicking it in the studio.
Y'all are energy providers. Y'all provide feminine energy, pretty faces. So you are here not necessarily to be a song.
No, not
but
to be
you
a,
are.
but
you are.
You know they looking at you.
Yeah, there's a certain level of, I guess, consent, not to being touched at all, but consent to at least the option in the future of you probably getting some dick, because you ain't gonna be in this room if you ain't coming off something. Like, these guys did not invite you here because you have any marketable skills. Nobody want to sign you. You know what I'm saying? You here because you pretty. It's the only thing you have to offer. Why would they invite pretty women here if they don't have any plans to do anything with them?
Let's be adults. That's facts. Let's be adults. Let's be grown-ups. We know what it is.
And I'm not judging these women for being in these spaces. All I'm saying is, and look, maybe you're naive, you're young at that point, but that's just what I'm trying to educate people. You need to think about that when you go in these spaces, because there is, in the person's mind that's inviting you, and not to say in the grand scheme of things there's consent, but to the person inviting you, they're expecting something of you. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
Everyone in these rooms at a certain level has to be in this room because they have something to offer, because they're a person with something to offer. Even if they're not offering it, you're in this room because you're a millionaire. You're in this room because you have a following. You're in this room because you sold these records. You're in this room because you're a famous rapper, basketball player. You're in this room because you're pretty and have a big butt and a BBL. That's why you're in this room. You're not in this room for anything else. So understand that you're kind of not consenting to have anything.
Let me make sure. You muted yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, let me unmute myself.
How are you?
I am doing well. How are you, Kevin? You look handsome.
Well, thank you very much. It's Saturday night. We're just chilling.
Well, you got your black on. I said, let me get a little black on, too. Let me match your fly.
There we go. So what we're doing? So what we're doing tonight is, one, I always have to have a subject matter to start the conversation over. But two, I'm asking, what can we do better outside of why can't modern women handle the truth, or what can we do better? Because it seems to me our critics and detractors always want to talk about how we say it instead of actually getting to the subject. What can we do better in that regard then?
Okay. I'll say this, and I hope I'm not. Is my internet all right, Kevin?
You're good.
Okay. I was one of those women where I didn't like being told what I need to get better because I didn't have to. It was always someone pandering to me. It was always someone telling me that I was better than honestly what I was. And I made a video about you.
Uh-oh.
I did. I did.
Uh-oh.
And I made a video about you because, a lot of stuff that you tell us as far as women, we haven't heard it. Like, you're different. And I can appreciate that. And it really changed my life. Hey, because I was one of those thinking I was a 10, not knowing I could have lost about 15 pounds.
Right.
I'm old, so I don't know. It's a lot of stuff with women where we don't like to hear the truth because the truth has never been brought to us. It's always been where you're the fault.
Okay.
Not us.
That's what. Okay, Felicia, you're about to. Hello, Felicia. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you. I apologize. That
no
was me
problem.
earlier. You were right.
Yeah, that was you. And so, Felicia, I have Felicia on the other end. This is Courtney. Felicia, you said you
Hi,
agree.
Felicia.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Can you hear Courtney?
If Courtney says something, I possibly can.
Hi, Felicia. How are you, darling?
Hi. Yes, I hear you, Courtney. How are you?
Good.
All right, good. So I'm connecting all my systems together.
Okay.
So
get it working.
What did you want to input, Felicia?
I was looking prior to coming on here. I was looking at that call, or the interview between the young lady and the man.
Okay.
And it's so easy for people to pick up your name and run with it right now so that they can get clicks and views. Plain and simple. Because if anybody has seen you or that has done any research on you, and because you're going to do a video on somebody, it would stand to reason that you would vet the person and then vet what they're about, and you would look at a myriad of things. And it just looks to me like they were trying to find something to talk about you about so that they could have the clicks and views. And then the young lady was racially ambiguous, so she was on both sides of the fence, just being fair. And it just appeared to be that it was easy to take a pot shot at you because you're doing something.
Is this the clip I just showed with Adam with the white man and the black woman?
Yes. Yes.
If I want to say that, well, I know Adam. I did his podcast, and I don't want to say the title of the other lady's show, but let's just say they have a show. It's a sex show. And it's a very liberal show. And here's the thing.
What am I doing?
In YouTube, right now, my name is trending, of course. But everyone has an opinion. The problem is the opinions, people try to mask their opinions as being uninformed. When she could really just come out and say, it's just, I don't like the way he says it. I don't like the truth. That's really what it is. Because you can't say I'm a horrible person, you don't watch, and then you say you want Dr. Umar when we align in what most of the stuff we say. So, Courtney, I got a question for you, though. I hear a lot of women say that they've never heard this kind of stuff before. And it always fascinates me. Is it because, do you hear from your brothers, or do you hear from any of your cousins? Or do you not just, or is it just you don't hear it? Because I think that women have heard it before, just the men they've heard it from, they don't pay attention.
Well, that's twofold. Okay. So, have I heard it from my father? No. Majority of us don't have our fathers. Now, maybe I've heard it from my brothers. Yes. But I'm not listening to them. But they're my brothers. You were 2-3 years apart. We fighting. So as a young child, their ideas and what they said didn't hold weight. Right. What holds weight is fathers. Fathers are so important. And you speak like a father.
Hmm.
And a lot of women that I know listen to you, and I get messages every day. And they be like, "Oh, Kevin, so he changed me. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mother. I got a man because of him." Like I hear these things,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I am one to tell you that you've changed my life as well, because I didn't hear that. And it's unfortunate that in our 30s, we're hearing what has been told years on with men, but we've just been programmed to not listen to you. We've been programmed not to listen to men. We've been programmed to, I'm going to tell you what you want. I'm going to tell you what you're going to listen to. You're going to listen to me. You want that? This is what I'm going to give you.
What do you think about that, Felicia? Have you guys been programmed to not listen to it? Okay, I'm 52. I'm 52 and Courtney's in her 30s, right? You in her 30s?
Yeah, I'm seasoned now, Kevin. Don't throw my age out there like that now. Well, I'm in my 30s. Yeah, I'm seasoned in my 30s. And that's fine. And I hate that I wasn't.
Hold on, you guys are talking at the same time, Court. She's talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You were raised with your stepdad? Say again?
Did you get that?
Got it.
We have a fire. Look for the smoke.
We're on our way.
Uh-oh. Don't you start cussing on this channel, Felicia. Don't be cussing at them like that.
Laura, you made it. Sam, thank goodness. Surprise. It's okay. He's one of us.
Sorry if I
Mm-hmm.
startled you. This place would make anyone a little jumpy.
About how not to get ourselves involved in cheating on me.
Okay, so let me catch everybody. Let me catch everybody up to where Felicia was saying, because a bit of it was cut off. Felicia was saying that she was raised. When I asked her about, were you raised to not pay attention to her? She said yes, and she started talking about how her stepfather raised her and her siblings to where the boys took care of the outside of the house and women took care of the inside. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my dad and my brothers were outside. They were, doing the pool on the weekends. We were raised in a pretty decent neighborhood, but it didn't matter. My father raised us to understand the money that he had was his.
Right.
And when we get older, we have a lot of choices to have. We either got a job, we went to school, or the military. And if we got a job, we had to be going to school in the house. Those were his rules. And so we either abided by them or we got out. And didn't matter. 18 years old, we were out.
Let me ask you a question. That because I get dinged all the time by apparently. Anyway, what? Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
I'm good. So,
How old are you?
I'm 30.
All right. Any children?
Yes, I do. I have 2 girls, 2 daughters.
Okay. So, what do you think about the subject of sharing with me?
Absolutely not. I don't agree with that.
It's good to see you, little bird.
I don't think it's, I mean,
I'm so
and it
glad
won't
you're here.
work. It just won't work,
Is Sam
especially
with
if
you?
you're a woman who,
She was with you.
the
was
standard,
here
you just
with
got
that man,
standards
Matthias.
for certain things.
But I
You're just
passed
not
out.
going for it. You
When I
require
woke up, they were both
time.
gone.
You require a lot
Nico,
from me.
one
So
time
how
off.
could you
We need to
ever
find them.
be happy with
wait.
yourself
What
trying
about
to trying to settle with a man with another woman?
Let's split up.
That would make
One of
you
us go
so
with Laura
miserable.
and
If you
meet up
thought
with
you was
Ross.
miserable
The rest
before,
of us
like
should fan out
you're gonna
and
be
look for Sam.
miserable.
I'll go with.
How many different fathers?
I have 2 baby daddies.
Not so bad.
Yeah,
Do you hear what's coming out of your mouth?
I do.
A man has to share you with 2 other men who got kids out of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen. Why?
But I'm not sleeping. But I'm not sleeping with those men.
Okay.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
I let you speak.
Yeah.
You're far too animated about this because you know you're wrong. When you come to the marketplace, you've already been shared by 2 different men, and they got DNA evidence.
I can't believe we're actually on an expedition.
What does a woman who has 2 kids by 2 different men think that? This is what I mean. Y'all were taught that we owe y'all everything. Your value, okay. What do you think your value is relative to the market? If an average woman is here, what do you think your value is?
If an average woman is there, I think my value
will still be on average. Will still, and I'm just being honest, because regardless if I have 2 baby fathers or 4 baby fathers, well, I won't necessarily say 4, but regardless of the fact, I'm a damn good woman. And I'm going to hold myself up here regardless of the
Ma'am. Don't talk to me about your feelings. Let's talk about the math.
Yeah, we're
If an
talking
average
about
woman
it
is
because
here.
you asked me, and that's my
Okay, so you can't do that.
That's okay.
Ma'am, I don't know you. If you got to overtalk, you're losing.
I'm listening.
Okay, if an average woman, an average childless woman is here, you're saying your value is on par with her. How can that be?
Because
according to the math, you have 2 children.
Yeah.
Does that increase your value?
Can I explain?
Do children increase your value to the market?
If they're good kids,
No.
If they're well behaved kids,
I'm trying to be respectful, man. I am trying to be goddamn respectful. Stop it. Check that shit. Man, I'll let you speak. This will go off the rails. This will go off the rails, ma'am. I don't do that.
Because you didn't let me answer.
Ma'am, you're not answering the question. Okay, here's what we're not going to do. Okay? I'll let you speak. Now, you can have a respectful dialogue, and if you're talking about you're such a good woman, show it.
Up here, I found something.
If a woman is average, a woman, any woman, you or other, who has 2 children, does that increase her value to the market? Maintain it or decrease it? I don't care how great you think the kids are. We're talking about just bare numbers. Does it increase, decrease, or maintain?
Okay. Realistically, in this world, it decreases.
Okay. So it decreases your.
But can I say something?
It decreases your. Man, that's how it is. Your value. You're saying your value is here.
I get it.
You can believe.
But you can have no kids.
Okay, you're not. No, I'm running the show.
But she can have no kids, and she's still a bird brain. She's still less than.
Ma'am, how do you think you're coming across right now?
Listen, you asked me a question.
I'm asking you.
Seriously.
Okay, ma'am. How do you think you're coming across right now? How do you think you're coming across right now? Because you're saying that I don't know you, but here's the thing: you have 2 kids by 2 different men. How come neither one of those men chose to marry you?
You know what? Because actually, they just wasn't in the life path for me to marry. I was young, and for one of the men, I mean, he just as I grew older with him, he was older than me. But as I start to, come into terms of what was going on in my life, I branched off. I grew apart from that. I didn't see no elevation with him. I didn't. And to be honest, the second man was really, honestly speaking, it's somebody who I had known for a while, but it still happened like as a, I won't say wasn't a one night stand, but it was.
How about you just make, ma'am, when you start, okay, no disrespect, ma'am, I just asked you a direct question.
And
did either one of these, okay, ma'am, excuse me, did either one of these men propose marriage to you?
Absolutely not, because marriage wasn't even in their radar. Marriage wasn't even in their radar.
See, this is what I want you to talk. This is what I need you to understand. These women can talk, but ma'am, every time that I let you talk. You want to dominate the conversation? Ma'am, you have 2 kids. Your value to the market is below average. And all you have to do is judge by the caliber of men you mate with and whether or not those men even offered you marriage.
I can't.
Now all you have to do is judge based whether or not you required marriage. So we're here because you're a mother of 2 with 2 different guys talking about sharing a man, and you shared your womb. So from the men's standpoint, why is it okay for you to expect the man to accept the woman who shared her womb with 2 men, and you're not willing to share his presence with another woman? Answer that question. You shared your womb with 2 men. Why can't you share that man with 1 or 2 women?
Because he's coming into my life. He wants to have something with me. We're having something with each other. We're not. And say if he
have kids. Say if he have kids, he share his semen with 2 other women, because that's
I
what
didn't
it
say he
is.
had kids, ma'am. I just said you're making up stuff that I didn't say.
Okay, and if he didn't have kids, if he did not have kids, then I still do believe, I still do, because I'm not sleeping with my baby
I
fathers.
didn't say
I'm
you
not
were.
sleeping with them.
Ma'am, it doesn't matter if
So,
you're sleeping with it. Ma'am, it doesn't matter if you're sleeping with it or not. You have the kids.
yes.
So, ma'am, what you're trying to do is you're being disingenuous because you have to say, your logic is kicking in. You're like, damn, he's right. I have shared my body and my womb with 2 different men, and I have the product to show it. So he's coming into my life. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's another. You ladies value yourselves more than us. Ma'am,
We're not
you will not,
supposed to?
excuse me. No. You're going into his life. You're bringing 1, 2, 3 people to a man. And he's supposed to share you with your children, share you with their fathers, because you have to deal with them in some form or fashion. He's supposed to share all of that. Please make it make sense to where you can't even share his time with another woman. And he's got to share you with all that.
You know what? He's going to enjoy to share all
No,
of
ma'am.
it.
No, ma'am.
He's
Make
going
the
to
math make
enjoy it.
no,
He's
don't
going
give
to
me the
fall
feelings.
in love
Don't give me
with
the
you.
feelings. Make the math make sense. You got 1, 2 children, 1, 2 fathers. That's 4 people he has to share you with. That's 1 woman split between 1, 2 kids, 2 fathers. That's
And
1
it's
man.
not coming
This
with
is
no
what it
baby
looks like,
father
ma'am. This is
drama.
what it looks like. 1
I can't even
man,
talk, you
1
guys. I
woman,
can't
2
talk.
kids, 2 men. Look, chick. Don't get mad at me because you sound crazy. He shared you with these 2 men.
This might work as a ramp.
All right, so I know I'm about to ruffle a couple of feathers with this one, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck with y'all. Everybody's a witch. Everybody's a witch. Everybody's a warlock.
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you?
Yes, I did. Hi.
Hello. Let me
How are you?
turn it. I'm okay. How old are you?
I am 34.
All right. So, talking about pretty privilege. Are you single?
I'm dating.
Single meaning unmarried.
Right, yes.
Okay, so for everybody who's going in, single simply means unmarried.
Okay.
If you're not married, you're single. Dating.
Okay, fair.
You any children?
I have 1.
Okay. So, disagreement issue, what? What's the problem with pretty privilege?
I do think it exists.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would be ready to fight multiple women for it.
Okay. Well, how old is your child?
She'll be 12 next month.
Okay. So let me reverse this. Why should a man be competitive for you?
Why should a man? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think that I bring good qualities.
So do those other men. Everything you're gonna say to men, that.
You're right. I'm not going to disagree. You're right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I think it just becomes.
But I'm a woman and I'm entitled.
I don't think so much entitled, but I think sometimes it can be degrading.
Then get a girlfriend.
I'm sorry, say again.
Then get a girlfriend.
I don't want a girlfriend.
Look, man, let's take it away from you.
Okay.
And let's go to the animal kingdom. Okay?
Okay.
The males of any species has to fight to reproduce, right? Hold on. True or false?
You're correct.
So every male that wants to have sex with a female just doesn't free access. He has to earn it, right?
Correct.
And in order to keep reproducing, he has to continue to fight, right?
After he already gets her?
Yes, every season, when a woman comes into season, there are new male challengers to come along, right? This is the Lion King. Disney showed us this. So every season, and as long as he can win, he can mate, right? The women don't mate with the men who don't win, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
He
I'm
loses,
following.
can he mate? If he loses, does he continue to get to mate?
No.
Right. So men have to compete. Women have to
So I
submit.
gotta compete.
No, women have to submit. But see, here's the thing. The lionesses do 90% of the hunting. And they do all the raising of the kids. And the men are out doing what they gotta do. And they come home and you got the gazelle and the antelope and the wildebeest made. And the only time I need to get up is if I need to go slap that water buffalo or fuck with them hyenas. Outside of that, leave me alone and keep them kids over there. And then when you're in the mood, get your aunties and your cub sisters to keep these kids, and we're gonna go over here and have sex for 4 days straight. You ever had sex for 4 days straight?
Not straight, no.
Straight.
Not straight.
Take a 12, 15,
That's
20
a
minute
lot.
break. But that's the lion. But see, you understand that. And what comes along with that. There are more lionesses than lions. So I say all that to say, y'all act like what y'all have to do is so damn difficult. And what we're supposed to do is just expect it.
No, I don't think that is difficult per se. But I do think that at some point, when do you see my value? Like, how long do I have to keep competing and
until you die. Until you die.
I die?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were your mother and father married?
Yeah.
Were your grandparents married?
Yeah.
How long were your grandparents married?
They're still married. I mean, they're well in their 80s, so it's been 3+ years.
Okay. Your grandmother still competes with your grandfather every day. Does she know what he
Not from
likes?
other women, though.
But she still competes.
With
She knows
who?
what well, have you ever sat down and asked your grandmother what it's like to try to keep your grandfather?
Yes, there's been stories of he was a high value man. He was in the community and all that stuff, and
So
she did
she had
tell
to
stories.
compete to keep him.
Not keep, because she had him, but there were other women that she would have to, put them in their place if she felt disrespected, stuff like that.
That's fighting to keep him. Ma'am, okay. The way a woman keeps a man is you keep him happy and keep him coming home. So your grandparents are married. Your parents are married. You have a child. Why aren't you married? Because you have the kid already.
Right.
Why not? So you saw the pattern.
Valued and I wasn't competing.
Okay, but see, why have the baby?
You're right. I was young and dumb. You're right.
You went to sex ed. You were old enough to know what happens. You can't keep giving y'all excuses for being young and dumb. You were reckless.
Correct.
So now, do you ever want to get married?
I'm on the fence, but yes.
Okay. Do you want any more children?
No.
Then if men marry for legacy, that means there's no reason to marry a woman like you, especially since you have a kid. See, what we have to stop doing is if you came from a mother and father who were married and grandparents who were married, your goal should have been to be like them and to have a man for your lifetime, not be unmarried, unattached, and have to worry about these decisions in your 30s. Changing up the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. So.
Yes. Okay.
So.
That's not me. Okay.
So, all things being equal, if you don't want to be married, what does that mean? You're going to be a single woman for the rest of your life.
Yes, but I feel like I won't be alone.
Okay. All right. Well, let's explore that then. How long have you been watching my content?
months. It's been a while.
At 40, the happiness curve inverts for men and women. Happiness for women, women are the most happy in their 20s, in their 30s, but at 40, it starts to go down this way. For men, it starts to go like this, because in our 20s, we're at the bottom of our earning potential. At 40, you don't see many women who are silver foxes and being sought after by everybody. That happens with men. So show me where unmarried women, 40.
Nut is the sky, Geb is male, and Geb is the earth. So their perception of life did not come from a Mother Earth. It came from a Father Earth and a Mother Sky, because that is where light and heat energy comes from, that comes down to our planet and creates the organic life. And then Nut and Geb give birth to Asar, Aset, Nebetet, Seton. Asar is the original father. Aset is determination and the original mother. Nebetet is the oracle reader, the one that can see things that others cannot see. And Seton are the forces that destroy. Seton, where we get the word Satan from, is not a bad thing. It's just what exists as a destroyer. And we know in life that sometimes in order to construct, you must destruct. So there is a time for the destroyer, but the destroyer must come at a time when he is needed. Now, Asar and Aset give birth to Heru, who is the resurrection and the light. So the Shabaka stone takes us through a dynamic process of coming into being that is called Kepra, represented by the dung beetle. And the dung beetle represents this process of coming. And this story then leads to an understanding of the science of what we're talking about. The Sphinx was the face of a black woman. The Sphinx is not a man. It's the face of a woman and the body of a lioness, because they believe that the year that it was born, created 10,000 years ago, before the pyramids. In fact, the pyramids were built there to complement the Sphinx that had been there for generations, if not millennia. It was built during the cusp of the constellations of Leo and Virgo. So Virgo was the woman's head, and Leo was the body of the lion or the lioness. And so we know that the pyramids were astronomically inclined. We know that one of the functions was to trace the constellations. We know that the 3 pyramids that exist right now actually are in direct relationship to the 3 stars in Orion's belt. They perfectly match up. So we know that it was done for astronomical reasons. We know that every entrance to those 3 pyramids, Khufu, Khafra, Menkaure, father, son, grandson, are all on the north side of the pyramid. And when you go into the gallery that look up, if you had a telescope, all 3 of those northern entrances aimed directly at the North Star, which became the way in which they could track the constellations in the heavens.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Listen, I wanted to make this announcement on 10/17 yesterday, but I just seen like my statement, my P&L with all my artists. You know, it's almost like a whole bunch of shake-up, and it's a whole show in the industry right now. But when I look at my P&L and me being a businessman, I think that I'm gonna have to release almost all my artists, except for Pooh Shiesty and Fujiano. This is a decision I didn't want to make. I thought about it, you know what I'm saying? I could keep all of them under the contract. But I said, hey, f it. Let's just make the unselfish decision and, let them take their talents elsewhere. So today, you know what I'm saying, I already reached out to all of my artists, you know what I'm saying, to their lawyers and whatever, and let them know that they're free to take their talents elsewhere. And I'm still looking for new talent to pair up with, you know what I'm saying, Pooh and Fu, and that's where I'm going to put my focus. And I just wish them the best. And I just want to let everybody know that, because, hey, that's where we at.
Right now, I'm offering you a special way to support your boy Pharaoh. If you enjoy my great quality content I put out every single day, make sure you...
In a relationship.
So you're single?
The Roman Empire is the Catholic Church.
When are Diddy's attorneys going to quit? Because at this point, if I
I expect you to have a long line, and I didn't think I was going to get in fast.
So now look at all of the different. Yo, I did it.
Stop buying courses.
Asking you, the ladies, why do you think women are so angry in the dating scene?
Well, hello, first of all. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I think women are angry because women don't like to be told the truth.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So I think women are angry at themselves at sometimes with maybe the decisions they made in their lives, and they project that on.
It might be your Bluetooth. It might be your Bluetooth. It might be your headset. It might be your headset.
It might be? Okay, hold on. Is that better?
Instagram is a little bit more. Yeah, let's try that. Go ahead. So you think women might be angry at some of the choices they made and may be projecting? Go ahead.
Yes, and this is just my personal opinion. I don't want nobody flooding my DMs and sending me any threats and stuff. But so I think women are angry because of sometimes the decisions they made in their lives, lack of accountability, and and they don't want to be told the truth. Like we like to be dealt with care. And,
okay, so I think there's some truth to those things. So what is it for modern men to do in that situation, or coming to the women like this who are strangers? If they're upset with decisions they made in their lives, nothing they can do about that. Nothing guys can do about it. How are men supposed to approach you? How are men supposed to approach women like this?
Well, I'm not a man, but I'm gonna try to answer that in a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
I think just you gauge it. Like if you see, I think as adults we've dated enough people, we've had enough experience to know when you're dating someone, there's red flags, there's things that people do where you are able to gauge certain behaviors and see if I'm able to accept this or not, and then you move on, or you have a discussion with the person and you carry on. We all made mistakes.
Well, of course, that's the human condition. So, couple things. One that would be very difficult for most men to do, to gauge every woman. It's almost like we gotta handle you with like kid gloves. And I'm gonna just speak for the men. You ladies don't handle us that way. Y'all handle us roughly. Nuclear rejection came from women to men, not men to women. So when most men hear that they need to treat modern women with care and sensitivity, when they themselves have been treated harshly and rudely, that's a hard pill to swallow. Because guys are saying I didn't do nothing to you.
No, yeah, I understand, and I'm not saying to put the ownership on just the men, but you pose the question. The question was posed.
We're just talking. Yeah, we're just talking.
Yeah, how men should handle it. So if we're talking about how men should handle it, where you have a woman who's angry, and I think if we're talking about the anger that we all know, where there, there's the woman that's aggressive and she's like jumping down your throat because you say something that she doesn't agree with. You just this is not the person for you, and you tell them like, listen, I don't think it's going where I thought it would, and then you move on from the situation.
What about this? What if men just started approaching women like this? Hey, ma, what's the name of your therapist? I mean, seriously. Because women ask, hey, where do you work? Where do you live? What if men just start out the rip, assuming that you need to handle care, ask, what's the name of your therapist? And this is what it does to men. If they say, what therapist? I don't have a therapist. What's wrong with you? If you get angry that I ask you that, you don't need to answer the question.
if you say my therapist's name is Miss Johnson, good, that means you're dealing with the problem.
Well, I think asking a woman that, asking anybody that, it can be a sense of like there's something wrong with the person from jump.
Yeah.
Because we associate someone going to therapy that there's something wrong with you.
But if you're a healthy person, you don't worry about it. You don't think that way.
No, you don't think that way, right? But just that's not how conversations would usually go. So anybody
the way conversations would usually go was men would have to kiss women's butt and try to tap dance around your feelings and emotions that they didn't have nothing to do with. And I accept it because that's what you say. Women don't like to be told what to do, and we like to be told in a certain way. That means men who are outside of you, who ain't had nothing to do with you, got to treat you tenderly, and that ain't gonna fly on me because these men got to live their own life. So if a man could walk up to you off the rip and realize whether or not you're the kind of woman they need to talk to or step from, like you were saying, asking about therapy, it'll be no different than if a woman asked a man in the first 5 minutes, "Where you work at?" "Oh, I don't have a job." She leaves, right? Same thing. See, men don't have no problem being questioned because if we got a job, we'll tell you. If we don't have a job, then the beatbox starts.
Yes, well, let's hope we don't become murderers too.
Okay.
But see, what you're hearing is accountability being put directly onto the women off the bat. And honestly, most women probably aren't going to have a therapist, have not risen to the level of self-accountability where they need to look in. And that's something that my brothers need to know off the rip so they don't waste their time.
There's something around here we can use.
What we're not
incredible.
Well, you saying that that's assuming that somebody or a woman who goes to therapy, she's getting something out of it and it's productive, right?
No. The presumption is you're self-aware enough to know you got problems and you're doing something about it. I didn't ask how therapy's going or if
you're not talking about the nuances. We're not talking about
No, the fact that I'm okay, it's no different than saying, hey dude, where you work at? You know you need money, so you need a job. It's no different than you ask somebody who's overweight and you say, hey, what gym you work out and who's your personal trainer? And if they tell you I work out at 24-hour fitness and Robert Thompson's my personal trainer, you at least take some accountability. If they say, what's a gym? What's a personal trainer? You keep on moving.
Okay.
See, I'm with you that women want to be handled a certain way. But what I'm saying is men don't want to waste time and be trying to do all that stuff with women that they ain't done nothing to. So, in my opinion, a person that's healthy would be like, oh, I'm in a good place. I'll tell you about my therapist. No big deal. Because it's no big deal because I made some progress. And I'll ask you about your therapist. That means you probably have one too. If we're both kind of healthy-minded people. The only ones that get upset will be people that ain't doing that.
That can be said. That's something that could be put on the table.
It's just not. I said it's an option. See, what I'm trying to do is give an option that's fair for both sides. Because the options you gave, honestly, ain't fair for men. Men got to waste a lot of time there.
As a man who, service men in the sense of you're in this business where those are your clientele, what would you tell a man how to deal with an angry woman? What would you say?
Don't.
No, but even before you even because that's where my objective is. You just don't deal with her. You find a way to communicate like this is not what I want, and you move on.
I tell my guys that, and I tell the women I deal with also, the world does not owe you understanding, and your problems are your own. You should be expected to be addressing the issues that you know exist. And if you're dealing with an adult that doesn't even know they have issues, you need to move on. It's one thing to know you have issues and you're doing something about it. It's another thing to have them and not doing anything about it. You and I don't have time for somebody to get self-aware to start fixing their problem. Our time is ticking. See, I'm about putting accountability back on the individuals who are out here in the dating market and realizing that you're a product and you're trying to get somebody to buy you and looking to make a good deal. A good deal is when you feel like you're getting the value for your money. A bad deal is when you feel like you got ripped off.
Okay.
And men don't want to get ripped off, and neither do women. So, starting out, I presume that if you're black in this country, we all need therapy. That's what I've said that for years.
We do. We all do need therapy, but because I'm very careful with that, because in today's society with social media, going to therapy now is kind of like a fad, right? It's like trendy. So people are going to therapy, but
there is no such thing as a rainbow. Rainbows are actually stargates. And this is why they got 12 different rainbows, because if rainbows existed, it would only be one rainbow, right? But there are 12 different rainbows because these are actually stargates. And these stargates open up in 12 different locations all around our realm, all right? All around this realm. So the 12 different locations, you've seen it at the beginning of this video, all right? And they cannot hide these different locations, so they rename them. They call them moonbows and monochromosome rainbows and fog rainbows and twin rainbows and everything. It's a million different rainbows, right? 12 different to be exact. That's because there are 12 different gateways, right? So understand that these 12 different stargates. Understand that these stargates connect us to the Asgard realm, all right? But since they have hijacked the realm and took it over the last 500 years, every time a stargate appears, we are not able to activate it. We can only activate it from our side. As far as Asgardians, they cannot activate the stargate for our plane from their side. It can only be activated from our side. Just like they have stargates that allow them to come into up to this point. But since the realm has been hijacked, they haven't even been able to use their stargates to come up here as well. So they literally have to, literally teleport up onto the surface or travel along the Antarctic ice wall. Right? So this is the real truth about rainbows.
So Kayla Nicole went on Angel Reese's podcast, and she made a statement that caught Cameron and Mace's attention on their show. And what Kayla Nicole said, I want y'all to hear what Cameron alludes to here and what he's definitely going to say, because he's speaking like a mature man. Let's roll that.
I broke up at that point because no, this is the question. Do I look like I was on 50-50 on bills? No. Okay.
And look at what happened. She called herself flexing and got a bigger flex on her. Now he's with somebody he doesn't have to pay a dime for. So it didn't work. You lost them to somebody with more money that will do 50-50.
Because she says, what do I look like to not be paying? What does somebody look like that doesn't have to pay for 50-50? What does that look like? I don't get it. I don't understand. You look broke? I don't understand what's the look. I don't care how beautiful you are. When I heard that interview, you're ugly. That's just my attitude.
Yeah, your attitude.
You could be the best looking girl in the world, but you're ugly. I didn't even like that answer right there made me say never.
There's two issues here. She says, Kayla Nicole, do it look like I'm a 50-50 type of girl? And Angel Reese says no. And that's why you won't have nobody. You understand? When you get with a man, it's a partnership. And we're supposed to partner together. You're not supposed to use up the man and use him up till he expends himself to an early death. And then you live to be 100. See, no. A lot of men today say, oh, no. This is going to be an equal partnership. We're going to work together. We're going to figure this thing out. And what it mean by 50-50 doesn't mean that bills are split 50-50 down the middle. It's just whatever it may be, we just working together, right? On every aspect and every way. We splitting this thing up. If a woman does not want to help in any way, shape, form, or fashion, it don't have to be financially. It could be something else. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere you and as the man not doing everything. Now, let's fast forward to Cameron and Mace. Mace says she got it now. Her ex got a woman, Taylor Swift, who don't have to worry about that no more. A woman is actually treating him, taking him places, doing things. Men like to be treated out too sometimes. I know it's hard to believe. Sometimes men like to get a bottle of cologne. Sometimes men like to get a dinner sometimes. You paying for it, Sometimes. It's not all the time you gotta do it. Just listen, men don't get nothing. So if you do something so much, right? Every month, every other month or something, you do it. It don't have to be nothing.
These older women who are giving you advice, you didn't say.
We realize and start to face the horror.
You do look a little older, but how old are you again?
26.
26. You look older than 26, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Shakespeare is also the same individual that created the Bible. Okay?
You can't make peace when someone has been so nefarious in my.
There's a delay. Can you see that? There's like a.
Ever since.
Do you realize what supercell is? That's not a.
So I do not pray at all.
Let anyone who didn't know the story.
I lost my husband to Dwayne Martin.
Breaking news, urologist Darius Baduke.
More than a 3-minute clip. Why are you spending your...
Interesting how now I'm talking about Cardi B and Michelle Lammy, my other page gets shadow banned. What is Cardi B doing with the high priestess of Paris? Now this is somebody I've never touched on before, but when you dive into it, boy oh boy, you dive into it. Like I said on my other page, brothers and sisters, this is a high priestess. When it comes to witches, there are different levels. In many places of the world, there are covens. And in those covens are different levels of witches. You have Sisters of Light, you have High Priestess, you even have Regional Brides. But to go higher, there are different rituals that you need to do. And it's satanic, so remember, you sign a blood contract. Also, many times for witches, to elevate to a different position, you have to take somebody else's position. And do you know how they do that? Ladies and gentlemen, they suck all the demons out of the other witch and bring those demons into themselves. Oh yeah, y'all didn't know we was gonna go this deep. And look at her with Marina Abramovic, another witch. I guess it's safe to say witches of a feather flock together, huh? And another thing you're gonna learn about these different satanic underground occults is they love children, especially young males. And yes, many of your favorite celebrities know exactly who they are. So then you have to question, is the person that your favorite celebrity is really who they say they are? And going back to them loving children, do you not know that many satanic occults, they have breeders? They have women who give birth to children over and over again with no birth certificate. Why do you think that is? Well, just like I said on my other video, I can't go too deep on here. But if you head to my patreon.com/IsaiahRobin, we can go deep into this subject. And ladies and gentlemen, it gets graphic. So a strong warning to those who actually want to see and hear what happens in these satanic occults. But remember this, it's all just imitation of what God does. Satan does not create, he imitates God. Imitates in the flesh. With that being said, you know how we say we're covered in the blood of Jesus? How do you think Satanists take that when they imitate it? If we're talking about it in the spiritual and they do it in the flesh, in the physical, that should say a lot right there. So those who have not already headed to my Patreon, go ahead and go where we explain unfiltered truth and go into detail about different things like this. I love you guys. May the Lord bless you. God bless. Shalom.
You did a EEG scan of your brain
while I was channeling.
While you were channeling.
Yes.
And there were different states of
brainwave.
delta and brainwaves.
Yeah.
Can you describe a little bit about what those different states are?
I mean, that's what we were really excited about doing that, because it's really not so much about trying to prove that Bashar is real, because I can't do that.
Right.
What we did demonstrate scientifically, I think probably for the first time that I'm aware of, is that the channeling state is a true altered state. And so the EEG readouts were definitely demonstrating that a lot of unusual things are going on in the brain when people are in a channeling state. And channeling is a natural thing all of us do.
Right.
Whenever anyone is truly following their passion, they're not experiencing the passage of time, you're probably in a channeling state, which is, as we discovered in the EEG test, between 40 and 100 cycles per second in the brain, which is a state called gamma. And in that state, some unusual things are happening. One of the most unusual we found was when people...
Yes.
Okay, let's call Mike. You guys met on a dating app, and you went out. You had a great date, had some drinks. Drinks turned into dinner. That turned into more drinks. That turned into going back to his place. And you were happy with all of it, except you have not heard from this guy, and he hasn't responded to you since the date, and you want to know why.
Exactly right, yeah.
Let's call him now. Good luck, Jenny.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hi, is this Mike?
Yeah, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike, good morning. My name is Fred. I'm calling from the Fred Show. The whole crew is here, and I do have to tell you that we are on the radio right now, and I do need your permission to continue with the call. Can we chat for just a second on the show?
Ooh, this doesn't sound good.
Well...
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll see. We'll see how you feel about it. But thank you. We're calling on behalf of a woman who says she met you on one of the dating apps. I think it was Bumble. Her name is Jenny, and you guys went out. Do you remember Jenny?
Of course, it's Jenny. Yeah, I remember Jenny.
You remember Jenny. Okay. So what's going on with her? Because she called us and had a lot of nice things to say about you and the date, thought everything went well. She thought it was a success. And says that she's reached out to you. You haven't responded. She hasn't heard from you. She feels like she's being ghosted. So what's going on?
It's all right. Well, Jenny was very cool. We had a really nice time on the date itself. I don't know how much she told you. I don't want to embarrass her.
No, she said that you guys had drinks, and then drinks turned into dinner, and then you wound up back at your place, and she said that she stayed the night. That's what she said.
Okay, all right. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to say anything if she didn't. But yeah, that's so. Obviously, the date went well, and we got back to my place. We had a really nice night. But when we were naked, I noticed she had a tattoo on her abdomen.
Okay.
Say that. It was some words and what looked like an arrow, but like in the dark, it was kind of, at night I couldn't really make it out. It was, I couldn't really see it clearly. In the morning, it was real clear. It said,
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Words and an arrow. Okay, so you couldn't see it at night. But you could see it in the morning.
In the morning, it was very clear. It said, Adam's cat with an arrow pointed down to her. Yeah.
Yo.
I don't know what possibly could possess someone to do a tattoo, but I don't know who Adam is, but whoever he is, I'm not into it. So, not trying to share his cat.
Okay, I've got to say,
that's yes, Jenny. You
Here
got to
it
say
comes.
something. That's Jenny, by the way, Mike. I forgot to mention. I'm very forgetful. I'm sorry. Jenny is here. Jenny, Mike, you guys know each other. Who's Adam? And why is there a tattoo?
Okay, so Adam is my ex-husband, and, a long time ago, we thought it was funny, and I never thought I was going to divorce him.
Clearly.
And it's covered in swimsuits, right? So, who cares? What I'm confused about is, why Mike is so insecure and, juvenile about
There
this.
it is.
And, clearly a prude.
Oh.
I mean, okay.
I don't think I was being a prude. I just, listen, I don't know. You could come up with a better story for it, too. You could just say, listen, I was really religious when I was younger, or change your name to Eve. I don't know.
Now what? Why you done brought the Lord in this?
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I don't...
There's a few layers here. One, you're permanently branded by with another man's name, who's no longer in the picture. Two, it's sort of the whole process and the thought behind it, and the fact that you think it's funny. Now, you might think that's funny. He doesn't seem to think that's funny. Anyone not named Adam is probably not going to think that's funny.
Well, I thought it was funny once upon a time, right? But now it's just whatever. It's part of my past. People, get tattoos that unfortunately don't have meaning later in their life. Everyone does this. I just don't get why that's enough that you would ghost me.
Does your ex-husband have a tattoo that says Jenny's back and an arrow? The bat? I want a hammer. That's probably why she left him. Not a bat.
I mean, it's a fair question. Was there a reciprocal tattoo of any kind, or is it just Adam's cat?
This is.
So there it is. You gotta love that she instantly goes to the name calling him a prude, and then telling him he's insecure. And it's remember what I say. You are to expect nothing from women and tolerate everything, and that is the expectation of males and relationships and dating from women. I genuinely am surprised that a woman like this, Jenny here, is able to make it this far in life with this type of mindset. Her knee-jerk reaction, take zero accountability, and put the blame on everybody else. Oh, you won't accept me because of this. That's a you problem. It's not a me problem. Just instantly blaming other people for her own shortcomings. And she obviously expects men to just be okay with this, and like she can't wrap her mind around why it is that a guy doesn't want to be with a woman who has a tattoo that outright states, this part of my body, oh, that belongs to another man. And it's like, as if we as men are not like redlining enough, having to cope with the fact that women are more promiscuous than they've ever been. This guy here would have to be reminded every time he has sex with her of her past man, basically.
All women who have been in the
No more smoking weed. I'm going to test you 30 days from today because weed stays in your body for 30 days. I will test you on June 1st, where it should be out of your system if you don't smoke.
According to ancient Aztec codices.
Do I have to come on news? I try to stay away from that stuff. I don't know what's going on. I just have joy and love in my life.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. It's like, it's...
And you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then it, no, I mean the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, are you going to try to be early?
Yes, I'm trying to be early.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
So Ellen DeGeneres is allegedly on the run after the feds uncovered.
Maybe this is why they came for Tory.
My daughter's birthday party is today, and no, her father is not.
I just finished having a heated argument with my wife.
My man Willie D reached out to me.
Heretofore,
Justin Bieber has allegedly been having a very hard time.
Becoming a submissive woman is so crazy because the power you hold by doing that. I'll give a couple points. One, I was afraid that my feelings won't be valid or like I won't have a voice. What I noticed by just letting my husband make the decisions and just following that, he asks me for all the advice. He comes to me for every question. He'll call me, what do you think about this? I don't know what to do. I'm like, wow, what? And then I say it, what I think, and then he does it. So I end up having a leadership role by just letting him be the final say, but he values my wisdom.
I don't want you saying like with that word submit, right? When you look at it from an ethical.
Hold on, Paula, hold on. You be quiet. You be quiet. Let her cook. You should let her. Cook. He may gonna say something. He might say something. I'm pretty sure he gonna say something. But what she just said, I need to touch on that before we get too far. Ladies, a lot of y'all don't be. It's simple. If you let that man lead, most men are going to come back and ask you, baby, what you think about this? What do you think about that?
Not even that. He gonna give it to you.
And I'm
like, yo, I'm the leader.
Fact,
cool.
The perfect example.
All the things that don't gotta require
do all the time.
You've lifted something heavy,
what you want to eat,
or doing something.
If
strenuous,
he was by himself,
I'm like,
he
yo,
know
all
what
right,
he gonna
that's
do.
70%.
He know what's going on. He know what he would do. But he would simply ask because he wants to make sure you good too. He leading, but he's putting that hand out, baby. You coming with me. Ladies, a lot of times y'all just don't understand the leadership that y'all say y'all want. It's not clicking. Maybe because you never had a father. Maybe you never seen it in your face, or you never seen an actual father figure or a man that has a certain type of leadership. Because y'all be missing the boat every time. Now,
how do you think I handled this Ruga situation?
Yeah, Mark.
Vatican is likely the most corrupt.
One thing that I have noticed that women do to emasculate.
This business has always been weird like that. There's always been
that's
people.
why you're the king, dude, because you got outside of it, but you're totally in it, and they can't get you. They can't get you. I'm piling up some stories here, being in the Matrix. I won't get into them, but it's the same. It's just the same old. Corporations only know how to do business one fucking way, and it's just.
They push their advantage. They have their leverage, and they want the biggest slice of the pie. That's what they do.
I don't have a problem with that. It's when they go beyond that and they just straight up steal.
Are they stealing from you right now?
Everybody does. Every time you get in business with like corporate guys, this is how it works. It's like the check. Okay, we're in business to make money from them, and then you get in business with them, and then the check goes to the corporate guy, and then you get your cut off of his checkbook. So right there, I am immediately in a situation where there's no way I can steal from him, but he can rob me fucking blind.
Right. And you can add a bunch of expenses onto things that...
Front-end load expenses to make it look like they're losing money, and
That's Hollywood accounting.
Yeah. No, it's stealing. It's stealing is what it is. They just call it Hollywood accounting.
Yes.
But it's not Hollywood accounting. It's corporate accounting. It's scumbag accounting. It's just... And it's how they do it, and they sleep at night, and then they always ask, oh, that's over in the accounting section of the building, not over here where me and my yacht are. I'm like artist friendly. You know, I majored in fucking liberal arts in college.
Well, what was really interesting when podcasts started to take off, they started to try to get in with the old model and weasel into podcasts and buy pieces of podcasts. And like if you come on my network,
your deal is gonna if you think the fucking industry is gonna sit back when they didn't get to wet their beak on that thing, I'm gonna tell every young comic when we get back to this shit is what they're gonna do now is what the music industry did, where they started signing straight across the board deals. They're gonna get some young kid who's got no power in the business, and it's just like, we'll help you create a podcast. So we're signed with so-and-so, blah, blah. And what they're going to do is they're going to own the podcast. The advertising money's going to go to them, and they're going to rob them fucking blind.
100%.
They're going to 100% going to fucking steal from them, rob them fucking blind, and then when they get audited and they get caught stealing, they're going to label that kid, that young comic, difficult to work with, meaning difficult to steal from.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
I know guys young guys, I won't name any names, but they've come up to me and go, hey, I'm signed to this management company. They want to sign me, but they want a piece of my podcast.
No.
They want a piece of this, and they want it
There's
in
no
perpetuity.
reason. There's no reason.
Yeah.
You got to tell people that, dude, because you're the kid. You got to tell. You got to tell people.
Don't give up anything. Don't give up anything. Don't ever. It's all you.
Because they're not going to do anything for you. What they're going to do is move the ball quicker that first fucking 2 years, and then the rest is all going to be you. If you just hang in there and struggle a little bit, like
you've got to grind. You just got to hang in there and keep going. I mean, I got a lot of offers to buy half of the podcast or to buy, and nothing. I won't do it. I'll never do it. But then Spotify came along and they said, we'll give you a licensing deal. So just put it on our network for 3 months, but you still own it.
Right.
I'm like, all right, we're in. And that's why we did it that way. But this comic that I won't name, he was telling me that this management company, they wanted to sign him. They wanted to own a piece of his podcast forever. And I'm like,
what that'll eventually will become, because what they're going to look at it is they're going to make it like if you started a podcast while you were with this manager or while you were with this agent, it'll be like back in the day when you booked a sitcom.
Exactly.
And then if you left the agency or the manager throughout the lifetime of that sitcom, you owed the commission to them.
Exactly.
But back then, that you needed them to do that. You don't need them for the podcast, but they're going to do that. So then you're going to leave this manager, and then for the rest of your fucking life, you're going to be paying this never-ending alimony.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be guys eventually, they'll try to take 50, 60, I own your podcast. Managers will start, agents will start podcast networks because there's nobody regulating them to not do that anymore.
I got an offer just 5 years ago from a company that was a radio company. They wanted 50% of the podcast. They were going to give me no money. They wanted 50% of the podcast just to be associated with them. And they're like, we're going to pool together all these advertisers, and it's going to help your revenue.
No.
50%. So
no.
And
they never deliver with what they say they're gonna, and then they come in and they gut the thing.
Well, the beautiful thing about podcasts is podcasts all get big on word of mouth. Like, I've never advertised this podcast. I never did anything with it.
Right.
I never bought billboards or put ads up anywhere. It's just from word of mouth. And the way other podcasts grow is people get on people's podcasts and they say, hey, you listen to Bill Burr's podcast, Monday Morning Podcast, fucking hilarious, and then it just grows.
But I think
from
it's the
people
job
promoting.
of people making money in podcasting to let new podcasters know, do not sign those deals ever.
Yes.
Do not let the fox into the henhouse, because they're going to fucking rob you blind.
And
They
you don't need 'em.
And I saw this documentary one time on this heavy metal band Anvil, right? This crazy thing about this band that just was around forever and never quite made it. And there was I think it was that one. It's one of those ones about an old like metal band from the 80s. And this guy said, like, the truest shit ever when he was talking about the music business, and this goes straight across podcast and everything. He goes, you're better to own something 100% and only sell 20,000 copies than you are to not own it at all and sell 20 million. Like, you're literally going to make more if you just sell 20.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, they fuck. And then another thing that they do is then all the people that they lose on, they dump that on you.
Yes, yes.
Like, I remember one time, I forget what I was with this network, and I had a CD that was already made. I already made it, and I just wanted them to put it out on their label. And they wanted to own the CD. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I don't want you to own it. I just need you to like distribute it. I need you as a distributor. And the guy said to me, he goes, well, you know, ownership shouldn't be that big a deal for you. It should be about exposure. I said, all right, well, let me ask you this. If ownership shouldn't be that big a deal to me, why is it such a big deal to you? And he started like stammering, and then he basically said, well, you know, we get in business with something. He named a couple other comics whose CDs didn't sell, and we have to recoup those losses. It's like, that ain't my fault.
That's hilarious.
I could have told you not to sign that fucking jerk off. What is your... It's not my fault you didn't do the fucking work. So that's the way... I had another one time I signed with, this is back when I made like CDs, and I did one and I had a 60-40. I was getting 60 and they were getting 40, but their 40 was off the gross, mine was off the net, and all expenses for the album was on me. It's like, I thought we were doing this together. Every fucking thing, the artwork, printing it, all of that, all of those expenses came to me, and in the end, that 60-40, 60 net, 40 gross, they made way more money than I did. It's just how you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm getting $6 on every 10. Yeah, plus, but anything...
It's just hilarious that they would come up to you and tell you that we did some deals with some other comics.
Dude, I got in business one time to make this TV show, and the fucking guy sends the bill for the whole fucking thing. I shouldn't be saying it, but this is a while ago, right? The guy was going to bill us $2,500 a month to use his copier machine, and another, I don't know, $4,500 to use his editing. It's like, dude, we have both of those things. We don't need those. Let's take that money and put it on the screen. We're trying to get this thing to go, and the guy, like, oh, it's the funniest shit ever. He goes like, I'm insulted by those questions or something like that, which is my favorite thing ever. the offend, like what is the I don't know. You're a fucking thief, and you actually have the audacity to be like taken aback, like fanning yourself. Like, I can't believe it's like, how many fucking shows are you charging $2,500 a month to go, fucking...
Use your copy machine.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's rent for a nice apartment.
No, fucking thieves.
Fucking copy machine. How much does it cost to use that copy machine, really? First of all, the copy machine probably doesn't even cost $2,500.
He's probably renting it.
Yeah.
Probably rents it for a couple $100 a fucking month.
But even to buy a copy
He probably has 9 shows paying $2,500 a month for him to go, that's it.
If you have like a really big one of those commercial grade copy machines, what does it cost, 10 grand? I mean, how much could it cost?
I mean, I think he's bought a couple of houses off of owning that copier machine. And I just love telling these fucking stories, because these are the things that you, like, what's great about podcasting is you can say this. This is for every person out there who has a fucking business, and there's that thing where you want to take it to the next level, and then these guys come in, and then they're all just like, yeah, well, hey, we're gonna take a piece of it, and they take a big fucking chunk out of it, and what they do is their risk is all the way down here, yours is up here, and then somehow they just, I'm telling you, like, you better to sell 20,000 copies, own it 100%, than 20 million and not own any of it. You're gonna make more money. It's just how the game is played. And those fucking guys who steal from people, they sleep very comfortably.
But it's also just podcasts, just the stress of dealing with other people's eliminated. Just the stress of dealing with production people.
It slows it down. It slows it down. Yeah,
it slows it down.
It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing Spotify's ever done so far is ask, do you know who the first guest will be? And already I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be who they're going to be. You know, they're going to be great. I'm going to try to get my best friends, the funniest people.
That's them justifying their desk. Like, I can't just sit here like, Joe knows what he's doing.
Any idea? Well, who's
So,
the guest going to be?
I'd like to start a email chain, and we could maybe circle back later and have a conference call. And they're just trying to fill up their...
Yeah, they're just having to use time.
Yeah.
But the Spotify people have been great. They literally said, we don't want to do anything. We want you to just do what you're doing. Just do what you're doing.
Oh, that's
But even
good.
asking me who the guest's going to be, I was like, oh, no. Please let this be the only question.
Yeah. I'm
Has Orlando Brown been telling the truth? All of
Why do you think that you feel so intent about noting that you are twice divorced and the age of 30?
There's two reasons. There's the silly reason, and then there's the deeper reason, right?
You know, killer's coming tonight. See, my mom's always told me.
Can you bring this? Actually, I can send it to you right now in an email. Oh, yeah, sure, do that. And it went from there. First contract.
Come on now. Come on now.
I've done some stuff with freight, and I've done some stuff.
Cat was homeless at the time. Wow. So Cat was living in his trailer. And me and Cat said, hey, man, and I remember talking to Cat, I said, Cat, I said, we never get another opportunity.
So Hollywood, right? Where the celebs sparkle and shady stuff hides behind the glitz. Terry Crews, the dude who went from NFL star to acting badass, is now like this unexpected hero exposing Hollywood's supposed deep, dark secrets. Terry spilled the beans on a messed up encounter with some big shot Hollywood exec, and it's causing a buzz in the entertainment world. Fans and industry peeps are all like, what other crazy...
I don't get dating nowadays. This is the largest group of butthurt, bitter pen pals I've ever seen in my entire life. It's absurd. Like, you'll establish mutual interest with somebody, exchange numbers, and then you want to good morning me beautiful until my head is ready to explode. Like, I don't know about y'all, but my attention span is not something to play with. You've got 2 or 3 weeks of chit-chatting with me and FaceTiming before I expect you in person. All right? This isn't fucking summer camp. Let's keep in touch. No. I want to feel the weight of a man's bone. I can't say it, it's TikTok, but you guys, you get what I'm saying. Like, we need to establish real life chemistry. I'm not going to keep talking to you, talking about I miss you. I don't know how. We've never met. More, if you miss me, why aren't you in front of me? Like, what's the issue here? Why aren't you making a move? Lock it in, buddy. Are you short? Do you smell? Are you poor? You can't afford a date? We can go to a fucking park. Like, are you married? What is the issue? Because now you acting sus, and I lose interest on suspect people. Like,
yeah, listen, tell me if you agree with this, right? And then I'm going to tell you my reason why. Yo, Kendrick Lamar is the worst thing that ever happened to hip-hop since, I don't know, man. Right?
You said worst?
He's the worst thing that ever happened to hip-hop since, I don't know what, like the bully from the 80s, right?
This guy went from this, look at this, to this in like the same couple of months span, which has everyone on TikTok wondering what is going on with him. And this month,
does LeBron have to do something?
who murdered he just got charged for unaliving this therapist, Dr. Nick Abraham. So like, boom, the police find a body on the side of the road, and they identify the body as the therapist. Now, when they saw blunt force trauma to the head, the investigator was like, this has to be a murder. Now, they checked the therapist's house and noticed that the car is missing. So they're thinking like, okay, the perpetrator's still driving that car. The chief is like, hey, y'all need to go find that car. So all the police go out and search. Is that fucking Batman? That's fucking Batman. So the police go out and search for the car. And they find it strolling around in this parking lot. The police was like, hey, bruh, we know what you did. Get out the car. Now, Mr. Prada didn't do that. I found a video of him trying to get away. Supposedly he hit like the cop car and like drove around him and he's like going over curbs. Damn. And allegedly that was him. But after that, now I don't know if the police like blocked all the exits, but they was like, get out the car. And supposedly this man got out the car and ran so fast, he escaped the cops. Who would have thought he was a runner and a track star? Hold on, this ain't quite accurate. There we go. We gotta get so. Yeah, so he gets away. So the police go back to the office and they make a post. And they're like, does anybody know who this is? Who is this person? They have just unalived somebody. People on TikTok was like, Wait a minute. That's Mr. Prada done murdered somebody? What? Him? No way. The department gets a call immediately. They was like, oh, it's a TikToker? That was fast. Okay, bet. Go to his house. So they pull up to his apartment. First officer walks in. Oh, what the? Kevin, you gotta come look at this. And there's like red all over the walls. And the DNA was in fact the therapist's. They talked to the neighbors. The neighbor's like, oh yeah, I saw an older white gentleman walk into that crib. And I saw a young teenager, or like somewhere around 18 something, walk out of that crib with a blue tarp, a big blue tarp, he dragging it because it was too heavy for him. It looked too heavy. It was strange. They go look at the security cameras, and they do see the therapist going into the crib. And they also see Mr. Prada moving into... Hold on. God damn it. There you go. Get it right. So yeah, you see Mr. Prada moving a big blue tarp on the security camera. So now the cops and Batman go on a search. And they find this man all the way in Texas, and they arrest him. And this caused everyone on TikTok to go into detective mode. We're all like, why? Why did he do it? Now, people dug something up on the therapist. He was accused of SA of one of his patients back in 2015. The kid was like 11, so that would put Mr. Prada around the same age. So people were like, oh, this gotta be it. This gotta be it. The therapist touched Mr. Prada. He must have went over to Mr. Prada's house to do his therapist job, and then he ended up trying to touch him, and Mr. Prada crashed out and unalived him. But new information came out from the police. Okay, so we learned new information, guys. The therapist was not his therapist. The reason why people thought that was because in this video, he talks about having a therapist.
I don't know, my therapist said that's not healthy.
But I do think that comedy has some truth to it. The police also said the person that made the claim on a therapist for doing an SA was not Mr. Prada or his family members. Now, a lot of people were like, bruh, if he's getting accused for this kind of shit, how is he keeping his license? The case actually got dropped. He never got charged, which is why he's able to just keep going. So now, more information comes out. A close friend of the therapist said that Dr. Nick was openly gay. And people were like, okay. And during this period, they was questioning his sexuality. If you look at this picture, it's very ambidex. So he could be bi. Some people were questioning it. So people were like, okay, if the therapist was going to his house and that wasn't his patient, the only thing that we could think was that they were lovers. And see, around like April, May, June, he's been making posts about his relationship not going well. And you never see him actually show like his boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. So people were thinking like it was like a secret relationship.
Or can he do something where you would go, now I would look at him as the best player?
No, I think he certainly, just off the cuff, he's certainly the top 5 of all.
Ally as his like right-hand woman. Have
you ever heard of that term, hidden in plain sight?
Part 2 of something landing in Washington, D.C., y'all.
Is there has been negative propaganda put.
And I'm so sick of waiting. Like, when is it going to be my turn?
All right, so I know I'm about to ruffle.
The moment I did my interview with you,
I'm going to build you an e-commerce store.
Poor Riri, poor Riri, poor Rihanna. Not only was she one of Diddy's victims, but also Jay-Z. Now I see how it all ties in together.
Rihanna has reportedly revealed that she was a victim of...
You might want to stick around.
Okay, guys, so I got to tell this story. I was at the fair, my wife.
Now, let me ask you this. We all know about, we watch Love and Hip Hop.
God damn, boy.
You was on there with Carly Red. You gave her a ring, but the ring was not an engagement.
It was not an engagement ring.
It was not a proposal.
It was a, I promise
ring.
you ain't gonna never find a man like me in your life ring.
Can you please break down that whole situation?
No,
and
she fainted.
That ring was real.
Mm-hmm.
That ring was a real commitment. It might not have been a real diamond.
Oh my gosh. You give a fake diamond. It's a cubic zirconia.
I don't even think it was cute.
It was moissanite.
It wasn't even that?
I think it was more rectangle.
What made you do that? I've never heard of giving someone a ring to break up.
No, because
he said, "I promise you, ain't never gonna find another."
I'm gonna say this on this show, right?
Okay.
And I ain't even said this before because I don't want to put nobody to bad light. Me and Kylie cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've spoken to her after that. You know, she's successful. She got a couple fast food restaurants with Neo. At least last time she's
not fast food. Johnny's Chicken and Waffles.
What fast food restaurant?
It's called Johnny's Chicken and Waffles in Atlanta.
She just told me.
It's a chicken and waffles restaurant in Atlanta with Neo.
She said fast
with Crystal Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently people eating the shit. Like,
I've been there.
Right.
Okay. The one on Main Street.
But I said it to say like she's successful, so I feel like that she wouldn't be mad at me for telling my truth.
Speak your truth, friend.
So I used to deal with Kylie Red before I was ever on Love and Hip Hop. And I dealt with Kylie Red because she had been through some shit in her life. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like when people go through shit in their life, which shouldn't be the case, I feel like that they can really appreciate when some good shit come because they've been here. So through dealing with her, she was always asking me, and in retrospect, I felt like that she was always asked. That was her whole intention all along. You know, because I had never watched.
Oh, she wanted you to get on.
She wanted to get
Yeah,
you on
I
the show?
had never watched that shit. I didn't know that she had a lot of different niggas on there now.
Yeah.
So
she got a new man this season.
I just don't watch that shit. Like I'm a different nigga. Like I don't get into gossip or none of that, bro. So anyway, through dealing with her, she was always like, "Yo, I want you to get on the show." I was like, "No, fuck that shit. I ain't getting on the show." And she was like, "Oh, can you get in the show?" I was like, "The answer still no. Goddamn it, no."
What made you say yes?
Right. Because I had an album coming out that I needed to promote.
Okay.
So she baited me with that. She was like, "Yo," she finally had something. And she was like, "Yo, you got an album coming out." She's like, "I can make sure that your album is promoted and blah blah blah." So I'm like,
makes sense.
Damn.
All right.
I'm like, damn, I do need another Must Be Nice out in this motherfucker. So I say, all right, cool, right? So I get on this goddamn show, man, and I'm going through
It
all
was
this.
so random.
I'm going through. And then I think like I'm a positive nigga, so I'm like I could get on this show and I could speak positivity into this goddamn life.
Yeah.
No, these niggas drag me. Everybody
didn't work out how you thought.
Mona ass don't give a fuck who you is. They drag you the same way. And so then we had never promoted my album one goddamn time. Now mind you, we promoted all this other bullshit. Never promoted my album. But I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt because y'all women be goddamn tricking me, man. Like, so finally, one of my niggas that worked on the show, he just was like, "Yo, you ready?" And just the way he said it, he only said it one time. I'm like, "What you mean, ready? We in LA, we about to shoot." I'm like, "What you mean, ready?" He's like, man. I'm like, "Man, what?" So anyway, short story shorter, he pulled me to the side like, "Bro, like, she about to clown you. She about to make you look crazy for the one nigga, and she about to tell you some shit. She's sleeping with the wrong nigga. This is the plan, right?"
Damn.
I'm like, so she trying to goof me, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I tell my man that was shooting the camera, I said, "Y'all want to get a real good shot of this shit, because I'm only going to do this shit one time. This going to be some really dope shit for TV." And I said, "It's going to be a classic moment in Love and Hip Hop history."
Yes, it was.
And hence the ring, hence the falling out.
Okay.
But where'd the ring come from?
The ring cost like $30.
Okay.
But you just picked it up after he told you that, or you already had
When
it?
he told me that, I was looking, for...
Where is Claire's accessories?
Right.
Right. That bitch could have been an earring.
Wow.
Not just an engagement ring. Could have been an earring.
We'll tell her, keep this.
Right.
Just keep it.
This is a promise ring.
Yeah, man.
This
But
is
we
me
did that,
promising
you know what I'm saying? And then, one thing you gotta say about Kylie, right? She know how to pivot. She know how to get that bag.
She
came and made a couple episodes. She took the ring to the appraiser. The appraiser appraised the ring. Then the next episode was that broke ass nigga life couldn't even get a real ring and all this shit. I'm like,
A
yo,
breakup ring? Why am I gonna give you a real ring for a breakup?
But that's how this world is. This whole world is fake, bro. And I realized at that moment, I really thank Carly Red and the whole franchise, because at that moment, I realized that the problem has never been all these fake motherfuckers, bro. The problem has been me being around these fake motherfuckers and showing up as the real me. That's been the problem all along. Motherfuckers being fake, but I'm showing up as the real me, expecting them to be the real them.
And they ain't.
That was the problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's TV, and you know, but Love and Hip Hop.
The revelation is the final.
The times we are living in right now are like no other we have ever seen.
We could protect Lloyd at the house with the brothers. Right. Shit done got out of hand now. We can't, you know, we can't watch it now.
Yeah, you can't watch it.
Because I'd have been there sawed off a bunch of these Lords.
Steve Harvey's been sitting on some wild secrets about Diddy, and now it's all coming to light. Rumor has it, Diddy's...
If you're a freelance web designer who...
Brother, why must we...
Your boy Ray J, he wildin', boy. He recently put out a video talking about the situation with Puffy.
Honestly, you're so mature. It's actually embarrassing.
All right, cool. But...
Next.
Son.
Anything next.
I know. Hey, come on, man. I'm the second choice like 3 times in it, so...
Did you hear what he just said? What? He said, say that again. What did he say? Go on, what? Jess, what did he say? Go on, say it, go on. Go on, say it.
I said you're the one that's been second choice like 3 times in it, so... She's first choice now, though, brother. Yeah, she is.
Honestly, f you, Kieran, generally.
You wish.
But the thing is, it's tit for tat. People give it and people take it, so it is what it is. You give it, you've got to be able to take it. Sometimes people say things that aren't very nice.
Babe, no, because I'm not being funny. She's crying. Woo! Come on. Let's go inside.
What if I told you that it's no...
The Joe Rogan Experience.
There's so many mysteries to it for anybody to...
All right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
And so for anybody to come on any platform...
Let me give you a piece of advice.
...to say that he's fake, he's not a real healer, he's a scammer. What I've created, all of this, when I've created all of this is just crazy. It's just crazy. This is just crazy. This is just crazy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? What is fake about a healing sauna? What's fake about that? It's crazy. What's fake about these herbs? They just up there for decorations, huh? Like, what's fake about this? This was full, y'all. It was 16 people up here today. What's fake about this? Look, I got an oxygen bar, y'all. Oxygen bar almost ready. What's fake about this stuff? I know y'all believe me, but, you know. And this is all ego to the side. You got all this to scam? I got all this to...
What is my biggest issue? I mean, personally, I'm just very picky, and it's difficult to find high-value men. 28.
28? Oh, shit. Time's ticking.
Enlil believed human.
He come here, bro. What are you like?
Drew.
I can't see your face.
I'm in my car. I ain't got my wig on today. This messy dog. You remember me?
I'm about to say the name sounds familiar.
Do you own a restaurant?
Right, unexpectedly made several...
Have you ever cheated before? You're lying. I can read characters very well.
Gotcha.
There was a gentleman here named Nick. He was explaining to everyone how the show is going to proceed and giving us the basics on, how to be respectful, in other words. There was one person who was not paying attention while he was talking. Who was that?
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
So out of everyone sitting here, why are you the one that's sitting here being disrespectful when he's taking out his time to show you how to best present yourself in front of millions of people?
Because I was turning off my alarm, yeah, and I didn't want to forget to do it later.
Sure, I hear you. Because you're a disrespectful person, and you were rude.
I don't think I said anything disrespectful. I mean,
I agree with you. I agree that you think you weren't being disrespectful because that's your actual nature.
I don't know how being on my phone correlates to cheating. That's ridiculous. Like, be real right now.
A lot of things will be hard for you to comprehend. That's why you're in sex work, because you can't offer value in the marketplace.
What the?
Yeah, no. If you have legitimate,
I think I have a lot more to offer than just being on OnlyFans.
If you had
like
significant,
that I started.
All this her, yeah.
What are you doing?
She been here for a week now. I'm showing them how you left my bathroom. Look at this.
I didn't leave your bathroom like that. Your bathroom was already like that.
Look, her on the wall. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that over there, y'all. You've been here for a week. I done flew you out. I done found you on Instagram.
How can I do your toilet like that in a week?
You can't clean my bathroom?
Your bathroom was already like this.
I didn't ask you to pay no bills. No! I didn't ask you to pay no bills. Or none of that.
Why would she pay a bill?
You decided to be in my bathroom, do your hair, take a shower, and look how you did my toilet. You didn't clean none of this up.
That was your fault.
You got some home training. You didn't clean
buckets,
none of this
bro.
up. You could at least clean my,
But
my
instead
toilet.
of trying to bash somebody, you could have said,
It's a real famous rapper, and it's a real famous R&B chick.
Okay.
Yeah. Pimp had he had a recording of them. I think he died with it.
A lot of mysterious celebrity deaths in hotel rooms.
Wow.
And all these celebrities die in these hotel rooms by themselves.
Man, Pimp C head was this big.
Stop it, man.
Are you serious? Man, it was this big, dog.
Jay-Z has a remarkable ability to consistently capture public attention and allegedly manipulate media coverage. Since stepping into the spotlight, he has been a constant topic of discussion, with the media being particularly drawn to the intriguing aspects of his life. Jay-Z's knack for creating headlines is evident in his history of engaging in controversial situations, such as feuding with Offset, the questions surrounding his relationship with P. Diddy, and navigating a complex marital relationship with Beyoncé. One particularly shocking claim revolves around Jay-Z allegedly orchestrating a plan to harm Pimp C, according to certain sources. This revelation surprised many, as it suggested a level of ruthlessness that wasn't previously associated with Jay-Z. It's a stark revelation that challenges preconceived notions about his character, catching both fans and observers off guard.
This guy had the meanest face I've ever seen. Like, I was like a little scared. I'm saying this here on live TV.
Indeed, December 4th carries a significant and layered connotation in the realm of hip-hop, extending beyond being solely recognized as Jay-Z's birthday. A decade ago on that day, the hip-hop community bid farewell to one of its most authentic and impactful voices, the late and great Pimp C.
Chad Butler, known as Pimp C, died in a Los Angeles hotel room. The turnout at his funeral in Port Arthur showed just how much he was loved and admired in this area.
The use of the term trill serves as a poignant reminder of Pimp C's influence and the genuine, unfiltered nature he brought to the microphone. Despite the momentum that was building for Pimp C in the industry, as indicated by the term trill, the transient nature of life and memory became apparent. Even the most enduring memories, like the
trucking, is one of the unsexy niches quietly making millionaires all over the United States. After all,
something ain't right, y'all.
To 18 years of marriage.
BET, make some noise for Glorilla.
Shake it like he got shit to lose. Okay. On my new, like I got a punch proof.
He shot the club up.
Debo got that punch proof. Nigga thirsty, I'ma give his ass a glass of. I'm catty in the mud. To my body, I just got a wreck. Looking like Steve Harvey. He put that horse to working. Running
This is a screenshot from one of...
There are only 3 types of people that exist on this planet. You have the soulless beings that don't have a will of their own, which is, in fact, most of the people on this planet. Second, you have the living dead, which is the beings that do have a soul, but they're vibrating at a dead level, which causes them to not have any awareness of their soul. And lastly, you have the watchers, which is the beings that do have a soul, are aware of their soul, and they operate at a soul level. And this is very rare on this planet.
Talking to men who don't know exactly why they're here today. This is Maurice. Hi, Maurice. Thanks for being here.
How you doing?
You have a lot of fans already in this audience.
Yeah, I see.
Now, all you know is that someone from a past relationship wants to see you again. Do you have any idea who this might be?
Well, I had 4 relationships, so it could be any one of those 4.
I'll bet you did, Maurice.
Don't start.
Well, okay, well, why don't we let you listen to the voice and see if you can eliminate 3 of the 4, okay?
All right.
All right.
Hi, honey, you remember me?
I know exactly who that is.
Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Are you ready to see her again? Because she has something she wants to tell you.
Oh, she wanted... Okay.
All right. Come on out here, Natalie.
Recording you right now, and you're telling me that I don't have the right to refuse an ambulance?
Psychiatrically evaluated at a behavioral health facility, so unfortunately.
So you're telling me that I cannot.
The police is telling you, and I'm relaying what the police have told us.
So I accidentally rolled through a stoplight, and they said it was okay. I said I was stressed out because my family was stressing me out, and now they are forcing me to go to the hospital.
Okay, guys, I don't know if you've seen it, but you're about to see it now.
Watch this video before it's removed from the internet.
How are the Jewish feasts tied to 2025, 2029, and the arrival of Apophis?
Yeah, and by the way, that's where I was trying to head a moment ago when my old gray-haired brain forgot what I was talking about. The old preacher in me, I preached down a pig trail and forgot what I was even going to say. But the new studio and the new programs that we're filming over there, our very first shows are dealing with this question, how the Jewish feasts are connected to the arrival of Apophis. Well, I happen to be doing programs last year in the old studio with Derek Gilbert. And while we were talking about Apophis and the wormwood prophecy, I made the case that if Apophis is the fulfillment of the wormwood prophecy, Revelation chapter 8, that would happen in the middle of the Great Tribulation period. And then I made this point. I said, so if you are, and most evangelical Christians, whether they know it or not, are dispensationalists who believe in a 7-year tribulation period, if that's what you believe, and if Apophis is wormwood, then with that being in the middle of the tribulation period, you would count backward 3.5 years to arrive at the beginning of what is.
A while back, we were lucky enough to have one of Diddy's many madames come on the show to reveal all. Well, we've got her back. So happy to have her here. And we got to talk about all these allegations. What did she know? Let's do this. Reactions and see if anything else has come to light in your mind or people you've spoken to now that over 120 people have come forward with serious allegations, so serious he was denied bail. I guess I want to start there. Are you surprised that it's gotten this intense, this many allegations? We've even now heard a 9-year-old. What was your reaction as all this was unfolding?
Well, I mean, I can't say that I'm happy that someone is losing their life for everything that they have worked for, but at the same time, he is an abuser, right? As far as we have already seen, which is proven with the video with Cassie, right?
Y'all mind if I hop in this real quick?
No, we head up right now.
Okay, for sure, I got you.
We head up right now.
So I wanted to share this with you. All right, this came.
So it looks like Kim Porter's family is finally.
My mom did that in her past lives. She helped a lot of people out she wasn't supposed to help out.
Guys, the leaked video of Justin Bieber partying with P. Diddy has just emerged and it looks horrifying. It looks completely terrible. This right here is Justin Bieber. And what does that look like? That looks like a Justin Bieber that's just out there. He gets down on his knees, starts drinking. Diddy right there.
See, now I wasn't gonna do it, but yet he had.
You want to see something interesting? Check this out. Now this is a.
Were you in a car accident?
My man, what's the deal? Is it me or is it fucking snowing right now? Man, say, you know what they say. If it ain't snowing, we ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Oh, show the camera. Oh my God, my man. Now, what are you gonna do about it? Oh man, say, man, I'm gonna pose and get told. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, those two are eyeballing you. Man, say, man. Should we get it? I don't know. They might take me down through there. Hey, they might try to trap you and get a baby from you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But there's one way to find out. We gotta ask them. Ah, really? Hey, hold on. You gotta ask me their age, for real. How old are you?
I'm 18.
18 of age.
She good.
She good?
She good.
Can my man get your number?
I got a boyfriend.
Scott Storch have all this money. I mean, he was as big as far as, I mean, I think for a period of time, he was like on the level of Dre.
Dr. Dre?
Yeah.
Even bigger at one time.
Yeah. And how you go through the bag like that?
We use a lot of drugs.
Oh, okay.
Right? And he admits it. This ain't me talking behind his back. Drugs fucked him up. You know what's crazy is, in this hip-hop game, Fat Joe really is the Don. What I mean to tell you is, people don't disrespect me and do crazy shit in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I went to hang out with Scott Storch, because he's my brother, they wouldn't use no drugs, they wouldn't sniff no cocaine, they wouldn't do nothing. Scott Storch told me that the second I would walk out that door, a kilo of cocaine to come running through the door in the air like it was raining coke. He said.
So there's a theory though. Okay. And people.
Did Fairly Odd Parents make a cartoon referencing a particular?
Do you own a clothing brand or?
They're in the news. Aren't they a beautiful couple? I mean, these are two.
I need y'all to pay attention to this very closely.
The Simpsons did it.
Okay, so you saw that switch up, right? So let me tell you what happened real quick. Something told me to get on the camera, the front camera. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm getting ready to head out.
It again. Allegedly, they predicted P. Diddy's downfall.
If you know, you know.
I had no idea that you make money from Dr. Dre. And
if you're Amazon.
Quick question. Are you?
This world is much older than we think.
Are R&B songs written or produced by Stevie J. Parker?
So my son's is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk is known for making
John McAfee. I don't know if you remember him. McAfee on top.
I grew up in a 90% black neighborhood.
Okay.
Right? I got thrown out of my junior high school, so they put me in my grandmother's neighborhood that was 99.9% black. But they never seen a Spanish guy like me, so I'm walking up in there, Joey Crack. I'm the same guy.
Right.
They're like, we're not trying to play this shit around. And we never seen one of these, right? Right. And so every day I had to fight 20 guys. And then my best friend, he was black. His name was Leonard. My moms would cook for him every day, take care of him. And one day they came up to him and they was like, yo, why you be with the Puerto Rican dude? And he's like, that's my friend. And they said, well, if you don't beat him up today with us, we're going to beat your ass like we beat him every day. And he jumped me. And that moment right there changed my whole life. That was the birth of Joey Crack. It was no longer Fat Joey. It was like, all right, I don't care about nobody. Like, I'm ready to go to war with every human being. My heart just turned black. Like, it was like I'm giving it to everybody. And that's where the legend of Joey Crack began.
Did you guys remain friends? Or did you understand this? Did you understand the situation?
Man, I cried for like 10 hours. I had a black hoodie on, black jeans, and black Chucker Timbs. And I just kept tying this. And I was crying like, I don't give a fuck about nobody. I'm going to punish everybody. It was over.
Right.
Like from that point on, I start robbing people. I start wilding. I create the terror squad. That's where all that went into play.
So that was the birth of Joey Crack.
Yes.
It was that moment.
That was a defining moment of my life. It was really sad. Have your best friend beat you up with the guys that used to bully you. That was hard for me.
There was knowledge among. So this homie said, I can't believe this GameStop thing is still going on. Can someone explain it to me? I love Ian.
You were never supposed to figure any of this out.
Well, why are you asking a gay man as to what it means to be a woman? You should be asking women what it means to be a woman, especially trans women, what it means to be women.
I'm asking all kinds of people. Can't anyone have an opinion about it?
Only people who are women?
I know you can be with J-Lo, you can be with Carissa. Come here.
Everyone was talking about Lil Mama.
Still no.
A groom was murdered hours after saying I do. Tyreek Burton married his wife at a venue in Greensboro. The two are both from the Person County area.
What about women? Have you been with women?
Yeah, one time, but it wasn't.
Oh, you said that you ain't like it.
I don't like girls.
Same.
I can't get with the program.
What made you do it then? Right.
Just to try.
Out of curiosity.
Just
was it a threesome or was it just like?
Was it who?
Was it a threesome or was it just like a drunk homegirl night?
Just me and her just chilling on some shit. I was scared as fuck.
That's like a porn.
Yeah.
Hey girl, you ever kissed a girl?
Yeah, and she was gay and I wasn't, so it's like.
Oh, okay. She was going hard. She was going for it.
Yeah.
I think honestly, out of all of I've been with. Not tons, but I've been with my fair share of other women in threesomes and not in threesomes. And I don't think I've ever been with like a real like lesbian. I think it's always been a situation where it was just like.
Y'all just doing
with
some
their
shit.
bi. Yeah. Yeah.
The final. You almost.
Hello?
Hey.
I got the girl. Hey, girl. I just pushed the button. Hold on, I'm trying to put this somewhere where you can see. All right, a little bit.
There we go.
Can you see me?
What's your name, baby?
My name is Dania, and I am from Riverside, California.
Okay, Dania.
Well, folks, you may have seen.
Love and hope.
What's up, everybody? All right, you guys. So we have.
Today is that day.
6 celebrities who will be arrested along.
Are you?
Officers mistook an African-American teenager for a robbery suspect. And
That's how I feel too, bro. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's a perfect.
The world needs a man who's 44 sleeping in a bed with children.
No, you're making it all wrong. I don't read all the things written about me. I wasn't aware that the world thought I was so weird and bizarre. But when you grow up, as I did, in front of 100...
This Swiss scientist.
You could have shut the f up, and that would have came to you. But you know what you did? You failed.
And I'm still a millionaire now, so thanks.
You were given a
By
mission.
being allowed
How?
now.
I pulled your up. You was worth 200,000 to 400,000.
Google lies.
You was worth 200,000 to 400,000. You probably still don't got that no more. But I still with you, Selena. I still with you. Where?
You never said that to none of the other girls that you've been arguing with.
Show that
With you. Damn.
I'm trying to give it for real. Yeah, it said 200,000 to 400,000, but where's it at, baby? We run through that Come on, if you was from where I came from, you ain't never.
Within like the last 3 months. What are you on?
You ain't never had no real money before. I know you. I can feel it off you. I smell it. Exactly.
Growing up, I didn't.
You ain't never really had no real money before, so we gonna blow that. You know how that go. So yeah, so shut that down and stop lying to us.
I still am a millionaire to this day, right now. What the is blowing?
Maybe in your heart, and I feel you, mama, because I feel like that too. But you
in
know
my
you lying.
bank account.
You know
in
you
my
lying.
Son Trust bank account. I'm still a millionaire.
And your son's okay, cool. He should. But what about you?
Son Trust, you don't. It's a fucking bank account.
Yeah. But yeah, your son.
I don't have no.
I'm saying it like I'm saying it, because that's how I feel to me. I don't be playing no games, man.
Danny is the world's youngest prisoner, but you'd never guess the terrible things he's done. At just 7 years old, Danny came up with a chilling and terrifying idea. Ashley and her husband, John, moved to New York City on October 5 after giving birth to their second child, Julie, and a few days later, the
You see this?
couple decided to go out for pizza because the kids had a lunch break. Shockingly, they left Danny and his 15-month-old sister at home, opting for the two of them to go alone because they thought their son could take care of his sister, and the outing would only take 30 minutes.
These.
What's up? Hi. Oh, you reach? Hold on, let me grab my
Do you have no capacity to control yourself? I'm
Barely.
just confused.
Isn't that crazy?
Why?
No, I do.
Why?
I do. No, I do. Trust me, I do in some sense, right?
If you were in a courtroom,
I thought you were going to say court. Yeah.
have you ever been in front of a judge for anything?
Dude, no, dude. Why would I go in front of a judge? Like,
oh, I don't know, but like,
I get away with murder.
I imagine in that scenario you would be able to conduct yourself in a way that is not as you're acting now.
Absolutely would.
So what is preventing you? Like, what if you're able to do it in that scenario? Why can't you just conduct yourself like? I don't mind people who are a bit eccentric and they're exciting, but like you have demonstrable behavioral issues, and it's shocking to me that I have to say this to a 38.
She went through a real.
Got served today at the pharmacy, and
world's first Web3 namespace to be.
That's why they say that the world is a stage. Is this shit? They literally are paid actors. You feel me? These